A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, Protection by Robert Sheckley.
There will be an airplane crash in Burma next week, but it shouldn't affect me here in New York. And the thieves certainly can't harm me, not with all my closet doors closed. No, the big problem is Lesnarizing. I must not Lesnarize, absolutely not. As you can imagine, that hampers me. And to top it all, I think I'm catching a very nasty cold. The whole thing, including the cold, started on the evening of November 7th. I was walking down Broadway on my way to Baker's Cafeteria with Charlie Lester. He's in one of my physics classes, and we were both feeling pretty lightheaded.
Boy, I've had tough exams in my day, but that was...
You got a cold?
No, I haven't got a cold. My eyes just water, my nose runs, and I sneeze because I'm essentially a masochist. Actually, it is psychosomatic. I hate my mother and my father. Of course I've got a cold. What do you think?
Well, look, don't give it to me. I've got a heavy date with a Barnard Jr. this weekend.
My boy, there is no such thing as a heavy date with a Barnard Jr.
Never mind. Just don't blow any germs my way.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'll leave you completely. I have to go over to South Hall to pick up some books. So long.
At the moment Charlie left me, I had in my pocket 5 coins, 3 keys, and a book of matches. Just to complete the picture, let me add that the wind was coming from the northwest at 5 miles per hour. Venus was in the ascendancy, and the moon decidedly gibbous. You can draw your own conclusions from this. I reached the corner of 114th Street and began to cross.
The truck! Watch out for the truck! Watch out!
Huh? What truck? Who? What? Well, there's no truck on the street. What? Oh, well, thanks, friend. If you hadn't warned me, I'd... Hey, where are you? Who said that to me? Where are you?
Can you still hear me?
Well, sure I can. Where are you? There isn't anybody here. Where are you?
Gronish. Is that the referent? Refraction index. Creature of insubstantiality. The shadow knows. Did I pick the right one?
What, you're invisible?
That's it. I knew the concept was somewhere in you.
Well, what are you?
A Valadusian dirge.
A what?
Would you mind opening your larynx a little wider, please? You see, I am using your subvocalizations to communicate. Now, breathe deeply. That's it. That's it. That's better. Well, let's see now. I am the spirit of Christmas past, a creature from the Black Lagoon, the bride of Frankenstein.
Now, hold on. What are you trying to tell me, that you're a ghost or a creature from another planet?
Same thing, obviously.
Oh, well, that makes it all perfectly clear. Any fool can see that a disembodied voice must belong to someone from another planet.
Exactly. I'm invisible on Earth, but my superior senses spotted approaching danger and warned you of it.
Well, thanks. Thanks anyway about that. Well, what are you? One of those strange voices that warns Aunt Minnie to stay out of the elevator? Which then crashes to the basement?
Something like that.
Well, goodbye.
What's the matter?
Well, not a thing, except that I seem to be standing in the middle of 114th Street talking to an invisible alien from the farthest reaches of outer space. I suppose only I can hear you.
Well, naturally.
Oh, great. Well, you know where this sort of thing will land me.
The concept you are sub-vocalizing is not entirely clear.
Now, look, please, go back to one of my childhood traumas where you came from and let me alone. Thanks for the warning about the truck. Good night.
Where are you going?
I am going to a saloon down the street, much frequented by Columbia students.
Won't you talk with me?
Look, please, will you cut it out? There are 2 girls watching me now.
But you must talk to me. The real subvocal contact is very rare and astonishingly difficult. Sometimes I can get across a warning just before a dangerous moment, but then the connection fades.
Well, you mean that is the explanation of premonitions of danger?
That's right. Conditions might not be right for this kind of contact for another 100 years.
Oh, look, this is very interesting stuff for Professor Ryan at North Carolina, not for the physics department at Columbia. I have heard statistics about the overcrowding of mental hospitals, and I am not interested in contributing to that condition. Besides, there's a cop looking at me.
I appreciate your social situation, but this contact with me is in your own best interest. I want to protect you from the myriad dangers of human existence.
Get lost.
Well, I can't force you. I'll just have to offer my services elsewhere. Goodbye, friend.
Goodbye.
Oh, just one last thing. Stay off subways tomorrow between noon and 1:15 p.m.
Why?
Someone will be killed at Columbus Circle, pushed in front of a train by shopping crowds. You, if you're there. Goodbye.
No, what? Someone will be killed there tomorrow? Are you sure?
Of course.
It'll be in the newspapers?
I should imagine so.
And you know all sorts of stuff like that?
I can perceive all the dangers that radiate toward you and extend into time. My one desire was to protect you from them.
Oh. Well, look, will you wait till tomorrow evening? Those 2 girls are giggling now.
You will let me be your protector?
I'll tell you tomorrow after I read the late papers. The item was there, all right. I read it in my furnished room at 113th Street. Man pushed by the crowd, lost his balance, fell in front of an oncoming train. Well, this gave me a lot to think about while I waited for my invisible protector to show up. By the time he contacted me, I didn't know that I liked the whole idea.
Don't you trust me?
I just want to lead a normal life.
If you lead any life at all. That truck last night?
That was a freak. A once-in-a-lifetime hazard.
It only takes once in a lifetime to die. There was the subway, too.
No, well, that doesn't count. I hadn't planned on riding it today.
But you had no reason not to ride it. That's the important thing. Just as you have no reason not to take a shower in the next hour.
Why shouldn't I?
A Miss Flynn who lives down the hall is now taking her shower and will leave a melting bar of pink soap on the pink tile of the bathroom floor. You would have slipped on it and suffered a sprained wrist.
Oh, not fatal, huh?
No. Hardly in the same class with, let us say, a heavy flower pot pushed from a rooftop by a certain unstable old gentleman.
Well, when is that going to happen?
I thought you weren't interested.
I am very interested. When? Where?
Will you let me continue to protect you?
Well, now, just tell me one thing. What's in this for you?
Satisfaction. For a Valadusian Dirg, the greatest thrill possible is to help another creature evade danger.
But isn't there something else you want out of this? Some trifle like my soul or rulership of the earth?
Nothing. To accept payment for protection would ruin the emotional experience. All I want out of life, all any Dirg wants, is to protect someone from the dangers he cannot see, but which we can see all too well. We don't even expect gratitude.
What about the flower pot?
It'll be dropped at the corner of 10th Street and McAdams Boulevard at 10:30 tomorrow morning.
10th and McAdams. Where's that?
In Jersey City.
Well, I've never been to Jersey City in my life. Why warn me about that?
I don't know where you will or won't go. I merely perceive dangers to you wherever they may occur.
What should I do now?
Anything you wish. Just lead your normal life.
It started out well enough. I attended classes at Columbia, did homework, saw movies, went on dates, played table tennis and chess, all as before. At no time did I let on that I was under the protection of a Valadusian Derg. Even Charlie didn't notice it, though he had a pretty good excuse.
Boy, are you lucky. I got stuck in that elevator for 4 hours. Say, how come you walked? I never saw you volunteer to walk 5 flights before.
Oh, well, a little bird told me.
Oh, boy, I wish I had a little bird like that.
Why don't you do something for that cold?
Why should I? What's it ever done for me?
Not even the Derg had warned me about Charlie's bad jokes in time. But he did his best. And once or twice a day, he'd come around and report.
Loose grading on West End Avenue between 66th and 67th Streets. Don't walk on it.
Of course, I wouldn't. Once I got used to it, it gave me quite a feeling of security. But the Derg soon became overzealous on my behalf. He began finding more and more dangers.
Look out for an overhanging sign on the Hotel Nacional.
Where, 48th Street?
Mexico City. Don't go to the hockey game tonight.
Where?
At Toronto. Look out for the Elm Street bus.
Philadelphia?
Omaha. Don't go surf riding today.
What? Surf riding? Where?
Papiti.
Now, just wait a minute. Do you plan on reporting every potential danger on Earth?
Oh, these are only a very few that you may be affected by.
In Mexico City and Papiti? Why not confine yourself to the local picture? Greater New York, let's say.
Locale means nothing to me. I must protect you from everything.
Well, it was rather touching in a way, and there was nothing I could do about it. I simply had to discard from his reports the various dangers in places like Hoboken, Thailand, Kansas City, Angkor, Sarasota, and Paris. I concentrated pretty much on Manhattan. He did save me from a pretty nasty holdup on Cathedral Parkway and a 4-alarm fire. But he kept stepping up the pace.
Tainted food in Baker's Cafeteria. Don't eat there tonight. Amsterdam Bus 312 has bad brakes. Don't ride it. Mellon's Tailor Shop has a leaking gas line. Explosion due. Have your clothes dry cleaned elsewhere. Rabbit mongrel on prowl between Riverside Drive and Central Park West. Take a taxi.
Soon I was spending most of my time not doing things and avoiding places. Danger seemed to be lurking behind every lamppost waiting for me. I rather suspected the Derg of padding his report.
All my reports are perfectly genuine. If you don't believe me, try turning on your lights in the psychology class tomorrow.
Why?
Defective wiring.
Look, I don't doubt your warnings. I just don't think life was this dangerous before you came along.
Well, of course it wasn't. Surely you know that if you accept protection, you must accept the drawbacks of protection as well.
Drawbacks like what?
Protection begets the need of further protection. That is a universal constant. Before you met me, you were like everyone else, and you ran into such risks as the situation offered. But with my coming, your immediate environment has changed, and your position in it has changed, too.
Why?
Because it has me in it. It is well known that the avoidance of one danger opens the path to others.
Are you trying to tell me that my risks have increased because of your help?
It was unavoidable.
Why, you miserable extraterrestrial con man.
Now, look.
All right. Thanks for everything. I'll see you on Mars or wherever you hang out.
You don't want any further protection?
You guessed it. Don't slam the door on your way out.
But what's wrong? Your risks have increased, but my capacity for detection is more than ample to cope with it. I'm happy to cope with it. So it still represents a net gain in protection for you.
Yeah, I know what happens next. My risks just keep on increasing, don't they?
Not at all. As far as accidents are concerned, you have reached the quantitative limit.
What does that mean?
It means that there will be no further increase in the number of accidents you must avoid.
Look, if you leave me alone, my original environment will return, won't it? And with it, my original risks?
Eventually. If you survive.
Fine. I'll take that chance.
You cannot afford to send me away tomorrow.
No. Don't tell me. I'll avoid the accidents on my own.
I wasn't thinking of accidents.
What then?
I hardly know how to tell you. A gamper is after you.
Oh, again. A what? Now, what kind of a gag is this?
A gamper is a creature from my environment. I suppose he was attracted by your increased potentiality for avoiding risk due to my protection.
Now, look, you can take your gamper.
If he comes, try driving him off with mistletoe. Iron is often effective if bonded to copper.
Will you get
also.
out of here?
Are you sure?
Beat it. Blow. Scram. Get out. Go on.
All right. All right. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Are you gone? Are you really gone? Good riddance. What's that? Dirk, is that you? Hey, your motor's running. Dirk? What is it? What is that? What is that? Oh, it's the gamper. Dirk, get me out of this. Dirk! Dirk, get me out! Dirk, come back, Dirk!
Did you call? Oh, the gamper. Mistletoe. Wave it at the gamper.
Where in blazes am I going to get mistletoe?
Iron copper, then. Copper.
Oh, I've got a paperweight on my desk.
The chair leg is iron. Touch it with the copper. Quick! You see? You need my protection. The gamper almost got you.
Yes, it sure did.
You'll need some things. Wolfbane, amaranth, garlic, graveyard mold.
But the gamper is gone.
Yes. However, the grailers remain, and you'll need safeguard against the leaps, the figs, and the melgarizer. I'll give you a list.
He gave me a list, and I went shopping. I ran into Charlie at the supermarket.
Hey, Bob. Where you been?
Wolfbane, amaranth, garlic. They must have garlic.
Well, sure, they got garlic over here. Oh. Well, I guess you know what I came in for.
Tissues?
What else?
Well, now, let me see. Graveyard mold. You think they'd have it here?
Hey, boy, what's the matter with you? You look white as a ghost.
I'm white as a gamper, or a grailer, or a leap, or a fig.
Well, what is that, jive talk?
Please, Charlie, don't bother me. I'm busy.
All right.
Who has the nearest graveyard that would be moldy this time of year? It was a game between these extraterrestrials, and I was in it. Some of them wanted to kill me, some to protect me. None of them cared for me, not even the Dirk. And the situation was all my fault. At the beginning, I had the accumulated wisdom of the human race at my disposal. That tremendous and distinctive hatred of witches and ghosts, the irrational fear of alien life. For my adventure has been played out 1,000 times, and the story is told again and again, how a man dabbles in strange arts and summons up a spirit. By so doing, he attracts attention to himself, the worst thing of all. So I was welded inseparably to the Dirk, and the Dirk to me. Until yesterday, that is. Charlie came to my room to visit.
Hey, boy, how you been? I haven't seen you in class for a while. Oh, you mind if I hang up my coat?
No, don't. No, don't open the closet door.
Well, what's the matter? What's in there?
Nothing. Only that's the only way to hold off the figs, by keeping closet doors closed. The leaps are more menacing, but the eye of a toad seems to stop them. And the melgarizer is dangerous only in the full of the moon.
Only in the... Uh-huh. Well, Bob, it's been grand. Bye.
You are in danger.
What? Who? What again? What is it this time?
It is the Thrang who pursues us.
Us?
Yes, myself as well as you. For even a Dirg must run from risk and danger.
Well, is this Thrang particularly dangerous?
Very.
Well, what do? Snakeskin over the door? A pentagon? Burn incense? Anything?
None of these. The Thrang must be dealt with negatively by the avoidance of certain actions.
All right. What shouldn't I do?
You must not Lesnerize.
I must... Lesnerize? What's that?
Well, surely you know it's a simple, everyday human action.
Well, I probably know it under a different name. Explain.
Very well. To Lesnerize is to...
What?
It is here. The Thrang. The Thrang is here.
Dirk, where are you? What should I do?
It has me.
What should I do?
It has me. I'm going. The Thrang. Don't Lesnerize. Don't Lesnerize. Don't.
So I'm sitting tight now. There'll be an airplane crash in Burma next week, but it shouldn't affect me here in New York. And the Feegs certainly can't harm me. No, not with all my closet doors closed. No, the problem is Lesnerizing. I must not Lesnerize, absolutely not. If I can keep from Lesnerizing, everything will pass and the chase will move elsewhere. It must. All I have to do is wait them out. Trouble is, I don't have any idea what Lesnerizing might be. A common human action, the Derg said. Well, at the moment, I'm avoiding as many actions as possible. I've caught up on some back sleep, and nothing's happened. So that's not Lesnerizing. I went out and bought food, cooked it, and ate it. That wasn't Lesnerizing. I'm telling you the story, and that isn't Lesnerizing. I'll get out of this yet. I will get out of it. I'm going to catch a nap now. I think I've caught Charlie's cold. I think I'm going to have to...
You have been listening to Protection by Robert Sheckley on X-1. X-1 is presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Survival Kit by Frederick Pohl. The story of Mooney, a smart but luckless man who had to scrounge while his friend Harse always made out well, just because he owned a survival kit. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you Protection, a story from the pages of Galaxy, written by Robert Sheckley and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were William Redfield as Bob of the Final and Fatal Sneeze, Elliot Reed as his breezy pal Charlie, and William Keane as the foreseeing Derg. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Kenneth McGregor and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Jerry and Joan are in a Euclidean submarine on their way to aid in the capture of Johnson and the Gregory rescue boat. Captain Bradford and Mrs. Gregory have been left on the captive yacht, inside of one of the submarine locks on the Magic Island. They have just heard a radio message from Jerry to Johnson, advising Johnson to bring his boat to the island at once. Knowing this means Johnson's immediate capture, Mrs. Gregory and the captain are sure Jerry is being compelled to send the message by someone aboard the submarine. Just as the captain and Mrs. Gregory start to do something about it, they hear a rush of water. Captain Bradford runs out on the yacht deck and sees water pouring into the lock.
Hurry up, Pat. Get out here quick. We've got to leave this boat.
What's the matter, Tex? That water rushing. Is it... The lock gate's broken.
Yeah, our only chance is to find in this yacht and run up that ramp to the inside chambers of the island.
Oh, but this boat will be ruined and all our equipment's on board.
Can't help it, dear. Come on. This place will be flooded in a few minutes. The rate that water's coming in.
But I don't see how it happened. That gate doesn't look...
Never mind how the gate looks, Pat. Come on. We've got to get out of here.
All right, Tex. We have to walk on this narrow little rock ledge here.
We do, and be glad to get it. Come on.
This noiseless paint on everything. I'm getting as bad as Jerry. I could only hear some noise when I walk.
Yes, well, at least Jerry and Joan are better off than we are now. They're underwater, but they're in a boat that was made to be there.
Right here, Tex, was where the door opened when G-47 came through it.
It won't be so simple for us to open one. No, I think it was further back up this ramp.
No, Tex, I was watching as he went back out the door. And that light, that bracket on the wall, was on the other side of him.
Well, hold on, then. You mean that as you looked up here from the deck of the yacht, G-47 was between you and this light?
Yes, I'm sure of it. He made such a weird figure as he stood silhouetted against that light.
And the door is near here somewhere. We'd better not be too long finding it. The rate the water's rising.
We can try pushing on this wall. Right here, I think.
No good. Things on this island don't work automatically. They don't work at all. We've got to figure how to get out of here pretty fast, or that water...
Tex, the water isn't rising anymore.
Huh? What? Not rising?
No, it's nearly still now.
But it couldn't have stopped. We're 50 feet below the water level now, with the whole island submerged. What could stop the water after the lock gate broke?
I don't know, but you can see for yourself. The roofs of the cabins haven't touched the top of the lock yet, and they were only a few feet below it to start with.
Right, Pat. Only about 2 or 3 feet of water came into the lock when the gate broke, and that's funny. I wonder.
What, Tex?
That's it. The island is rising again. That lock gate must be up to the water level now. Come on, let's go back down on the deck where we can take a look at it.
But why isn't the light showing through the broken gate if we're above water?
Because it's a couple of hours yet until daylight. Come on, we'll go back down and have a look at that gate.
All right. Like Jerry, I'm glad to hear our shoes make some noise.
Sounds like home, all right. Now, come on up the stern, Pat.
Captain.
There's the skipper, Tex. I thought he and the engineer had been taken to one of the cells on the island.
Well, he's here now. He didn't try to get out of this thing like we did. Something funny here.
Yes, Skipper? What is it?
Gates.
We saw the gate breaking.
No.
But we did, Skipper. The gate broke and the water rushed in.
No.
That gate didn't break?
No.
Well, what happened then?
Opened.
The gate opened?
So, it wasn't an accident then. Our dear friend G47 must have decided we'd been around here long enough.
Not that, Tex. If someone had tried to drown us, the water wouldn't have stopped as it did.
How about it, Skipper? You seem to have kept your head and found out a few things. What stopped the water?
Gate.
The gate was closed again?
But there must be some idea back of all this. These Euclideans are too busy now with the fleet of battleships playing around overhead and Jerry and Joan out in one of their submarines. No, it doesn't make sense for them to stop and fool with these lock gates.
Come.
Skipper's got something to show us.
When we sign him on for the next cruise, it's going to be in his articles that he add a few more words to his vocabulary. Guessing what he means is getting on my nerves.
Oh, steady, Pat, now. Skipper's all right. Maybe he doesn't talk much because he hears the rest of us talk too much.
Look.
Tex, the skipper's right. The gate hasn't been broken at all.
That's plain enough, but why was the water turned in here?
Look.
Where?
There.
Down in the water?
I
can't see much. Dark down there. Got a flashlight, Skipper?
Here.
Thanks. Now, then we'll have a look.
Well, I can't see anything down there.
There.
Oh, Tex, I see it. It's a fish, a big one.
Silver-colored. Peculiar shape, isn't it? Biggest fish shaped like that I ever saw. What is it, Skipper?
Torpedo.
What?
Torpedo.
Torpedo, eh?
Then
we're on the wrong boat. That thing's going to go off when it jars against this yacht.
Dud.
You mean the torpedo is dead? It won't go off?
I'm beginning to see this thing now. Skipper, did you see that torpedo come in here? Was it an accident?
Nope.
But how could a torpedo be brought in here?
Magnetism.
Oh, then the Euclideans knew just what was going on.
Well, of course. I don't know why, but I can guess who. G47.
Precisely.
Oh, you startled me, coming out of the wall like that.
So you tried a little experiment on us, eh?
You were not considered.
I'll say we weren't. We might have been drowned.
That would have been no loss to me. But your destruction has no value in this plan. I merely wanted this torpedo, a stray shot from the fleet overhead.
You used your magnets to pull this torpedo in here after it was shot in target practice?
Precisely. I wanted to examine this type of projectile. I will send my assistants for it. You may follow me if you care to see what is happening in the submarine.
Tex, we can go and see what Jerry and Joan are doing.
Yeah, we'll take him up on that. See you later, Skipper.
Why, there's a door in this wall within arm's length.
Now, here, step over the rail carefully, Pat. You better hurry and not get too far behind old G47.
I don't like to just sit here and do nothing while our girl commander does as she pleases with the submarine.
It will do you no good to attempt interference, Jerry. We are comparatively safe only so long as you restrain yourself from well-intentioned, though ridiculous and quite obvious approaches to the subject of possible intervention in this Euclidean plan.
Hey, quit talking like that. I got enough of a headache now without any big words. We got to figure what to do when we get under Johnson's boat with this submarine.
I can use little words as well as you, Jerry. You are a fool.
I I'm a witch?
There is no shorter word for that. You're a fool.
Hey, how come?
You know that every word you say is being heard by the commander up there in the central control section. Why do you persist in talking?
Oh, because this gets my goat. Skip it. I know it's slang, but when I'm excited, I have to think in slang to get anything done. All this mysterious stuff. Here we are in a submarine 100 feet long with a crew of one man and a beautiful girl in command.
So you do think she's beautiful, do you?
Well, I've got good eyes. Even if she is a Euclidean, she's a peach.
A peach? Jerry, she is not a peach.
Enough of this ridiculous discussion. Silence, both of you. I wish the communication channels clear.
I'm sorry, Commander. Okay.
Now, Jerry, you must sit quietly and say nothing more until given permission. I warned you that our conversation could be heard all over the boat.
And is all that really coming from a submarine G-47?
Precisely. We could hear them as plainly as if they were in this room. Yet they weren't deliberately using a microphone.
On Euclidia, we have ways of hearing anything we wish to hear.
Yes, I believe it. Well, as long as that girl skipper won't let the kids talk, there's nothing of interest for us to hear. Let's go back to the yacht, Pat.
Yes, even though it's helpless in a lock under 50 feet of water, I feel more comfortable there than here.
Well, thanks for the show, G-47. Will you excuse us now?
No, I will not. Come here. I want you to observe something.
You mean look in that prism reflector on your desk?
Precisely.
What's the use, Tex? You were fooled once by that thing.
Yes, well, I might see something anyway. Let's have a look.
I will enlarge this image for you. You will be interested in seeing the interior of the submarine from which you just heard. Look. Look.
Why, Tex, it's the inside of a submarine.
Don't get excited, Pat. We're 8 fathoms below the water level. So is the sub. And they're miles from here. Now, don't let it fool you.
But, Tex, look, Jerry and Joan inside the submarine. It's as clear as a photograph of them.
Yeah? Well, maybe this look is on a level. Yes, sir, look. You can even see the expressions on their faces. Jerry doesn't look any too happy, does he?
You heard that woman commander tell him to be quiet. That's quite a punishment for Jerry.
Commander seems to be busy with the controls. Wonder what's going on.
Silence. The commander is about to communicate with me.
May we watch the image while you do your stuff?
You may, and you will notice the clarity of objects within the submarine, the perfection of the voice reception here. The television engineers in your world are hopelessly behind Euclidia.
Watch this, Pat. We're really seeing things now.
Commander S1 reporting to G47. 20 miles off Euclidia. Course due north. 25 knots. S1.
Your progress and course satisfactory, S1. Report on position of battleships near you.
Gee whiz, I heard G-47.
Yes, Jerry, of course.
Did you get that, Pat? The kids are hearing G-47.
Hey, Joan, I heard Captain Bradford.
Yes, the captain must be in the communication chamber. And my mother also.
Yes, Joan. Mother can hear you, dear.
Oh, Jerry, did you hear my mother?
Commander, you will take steps to secure silence on board?
Correct, G47. I will have silence.
Look out, Joan. She's going to use a ray gun.
It will be useless to try to avoid it, Jerry.
Say, if she hurts those kids...
Oh, Tex.
Silence.
Tex, look at the reflector. Jerry has fallen to the floor of the submarine.
I can hear you, Mother. Do not fear for us. We will be...
Now, there's no reason for what she's doing to those kids.
Silence.
There is silence on my command now, G47. Will report on battle fleet. 12 major units are taking part in maneuvers. 4 heavy cruisers doing long-range fire. 4 destroyers acting as enemy scouts.
When Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford were taken into the communication chamber on the 5th level of the Magic Island, they saw something almost unbelievable. From G-47's prism reflectors, they have actually seen the inside of a submarine many miles away, in which Jerry and Joan are being taken to witness the capture of Johnston's boat. The Euclideans have perfected television, as they have everything else, and Mrs. Gregory and the captain were forced to see and hear everything, as the submarine commander turned her ray guns on Joan and Jerry to silence them. The rays were only sleep-producing ones, however, and as we look into the submarine, we find Jerry and Joan just recovering from the effects.
I told you, Jerry, not to talk so much.
Well, anyway, we both got put to sleep with that ray gun, and I'm getting tired of falling over whenever one of these Euclideans feels like watching me take a tumble.
Now, Jerry, please do not make remarks about the Euclideans. The Commander S1 can hear all we say, and so can SE1, the engineer. You are only making it more difficult for us.
You are right, Cleostra. I have found that you two are not entirely trustworthy, however, and must now take further precautions to ensure your remaining quietly in the stern while I continue my observations here.
What's she going to do with us now?
Silence. You, Cleostra, will open the small cabinet on your left. You will sponge the hands and shoes of young Hall and yourself with the liquid from the cabinet.
Hey, wait a minute. Do you know what that stuff is?
Yes, Jerry. It is the magnetic paint, and once we have it on, we cannot move while the commander keeps the magnets active in this section.
Oh, so. My girlfriend, the commander, is just as tough as anybody else from that crazy island.
I warned you, Jerry. Commander S1 is a Euclidean.
Gee, a beautiful girl like that with just a number for a name. What a life.
I wish you would not keep calling her a beautiful girl.
Well, she is. I don't care if she is plenty tough with us. That don't spoil her looks any. She's a swell-looking girl.
She is not a girl. She's terribly old, Jerry.
Huh? How old?
22 years.
Gee, 22. Is she really?
Yes, Jerry. She was given this command on her 21st birthday, nearly 2 years ago.
Gosh, that lets her out then. 22's pretty old.
I'm so glad to hear you say that, Jerry. 15 is a nice age, is it not?
Yeah, it's all right. Kind of young, though. But by the time I'm 21, you'll be 20. That won't be so bad. Oh, but I guess we'd better quit talking about her. She can hear all we say, and she's liable to crack down on us again.
No, Jerry. S1 has closed the transparent housing around the central control chamber. We're quite free to talk now.
But we can see her just as plain as day.
That is more of the transparent steel, and transparent from either side. S1 can see us as well as we see her.
Then we'd better be careful not to make faces at her. Can she tell us she switched on the microphones on this end of the sub so she can hear what we're talking about?
Yes, Jerry. That large green tube at her right will glow when the microphones are active, and the red tube when the transmitter is working.
Boy, what a setup. And to think your mother and Tex really saw us and heard us way out here on this boat.
They will be very worried about us, Jerry, if they were watching when the commander used the ray gun on us.
Oh, don't worry so much. Your mother and Tex Bradford are a couple of the smartest people I ever saw. And if they saw us get laid out with those ray guns, you can bet they kept right on looking till they saw us wake up again.
I hope you are right, Jerry.
Hey, I'm always right. Pretty near.
Yes, Jerry.
Okay. Now let's quit jabbering about nothing and get down to brass tacks.
Brass tacks?
Oh, I mean, let's get down to business. Talk about what we're going to try to do and how we're going to do it when we get to Johnson's boat.
I think it will be quite useless to plan anything. We will just have to wait until the occasion arises and then take the course which appears most suitable under the conditions existing at the moment.
Boy, I got that one. We wait for the brakes and then jump in, huh?
Jump in the brakes?
Oh, you're getting in my hair. Look, and listen. I mean, we'll do what we think is best when we get a chance to do anything.
I think it would be better to sit quietly and wait for the commander's orders. There is nothing of value that we can do, Jerry.
Oh, don't be too sure about that. For one thing, you ought to know how they handle these subs. So, well, what will the commander do when we get near Johnson's boat?
She will order Johnson to surrender.
Oh, swell. But what then? Suppose Johnson does surrender. How do we get his boat to the island?
If he refuses to run his boat to Euclidia, S1 will sink it with all on board.
Oh, no, she won't. G47 wants the scientific apparatus and Captain Bradford's materials on board that boat.
You may be right, Jerry. G47 wants those things badly, and the commander will make every effort to get the boat to Euclidia.
But what if Johnson refuses to give up the boat?
He will not refuse. Remember that you told him to come to the island when the commander made you send the message.
Yeah, but I stuck a few words in that message so Johnson will know things aren't so good with us. And for the homing pigeon is on his way to Johnson's boat. Johnson will have a lot of tricks figured out before we get to him.
Any trick Johnson might try would only endanger our lives, Jerry. I am sure the commander will find a way to compel Johnson to bring the boat to the island. Through you.
Me? Well, how can she do that?
There are many ways. We shall see.
Well, if I get a chance to talk to Johnson before we get too close to the island, I'll bet he'll figure some way to give old G47 a headache.
Enough of such nonsense.
Gee, she heard us.
The green tube is lighted. We were careless, Jerry.
That is natural with worldly fools. You, Cleostra, should know that only Euclideans are perfect.
Okay, we'll keep quiet, Commander.
I wish you to come forward to the control section. You also, Cleostra.
What do you suppose she wants now?
We must go quickly and find out.
All right. Take this transparent steel wall out of the way. I'm not so good at walking through steel walls.
You are not good at anything. Particularly are your powers of observation not good. The wall has been removed.
So it has, Jerry.
Well, golly whiskers. How could I tell?
You could not, though an intelligent person would.
Oh, thanks for the violets. Come on, Joan.
Be very careful, Jerry, and do nothing to make S1 angry.
Oh, never mind. I mean, I know what I'm doing.
You may sit there, Cleostra. Touch nothing and say nothing. You, Hall, will sit here.
Right here?
Yes, there.
Well, here I am. What do I do now?
Look at this chart. Our position is here. The position of Johnson's boat is there. Check those at once and assure me you agree with the position of Johnson as given in the last message we received from him.
Right. I'll check it.
Do not try to do anything except what you are told, Jerry.
I got it. It's just where Johnson gave his last position.
Good. We will now contact Johnson again and get his present position. If my indicators are correct as to the speed with which he is approaching us, he should be at latitude 27 degrees, 29 to 30 minutes south.
Gee, how can you tell that?
You will notice the needle swaying in this indicator.
Yeah?
This is recording the increase in volume of the exhaust of Johnson's motors as his boat nears us. His exact speed is the square root of the dial reading on that indicator, the result being in degrees per hour.
Jumping catnip. This is sure slick. What do I do now?
You will take over this microphone as before. On the red tube glow, raise Johnson and speak to him as if you were on the yacht at the island. Check his exact position.
Well, do I go now?
You may speak when this red tube glows. Remember your instructions. Reassure Johnson that all is well with your party, but that you need his boat to leave the island with, and ask for his exact position. Ready? Silence, Cleostra.
I understand.
J24Y to J12C. Jerry Hall on J24Y to Johnson on J12C. Hello, J12. Hello, J12C. J12C. Hello, J12. Jerry Hall on J24Y.
J12C
or
to
Bradford
J24Y. Hello, Jerry. Johnson on J12C to Jerry Hall on J24Y. Go ahead, J24Y.
Please check your exact speed and position and give me at once. We must be prepared for your exact time of arrival at island. How soon can I have exact position? Your boat. Go ahead, J12C.
Am exactly 27 degrees, 30 minutes south, making 35 knots on course due south to island. Check island position back to me. Go ahead, J24Y.
Okay, J12C. Your position, 27 degrees, 30 minutes south. You are making 35 knots. Island position, 29 degrees south. Does that check?
Repeat of my position, okay. Position of island, okay. But cannot understand reception of your beam with strength in it. Where are you getting power for generator if yacht is crippled? Last message from you said yacht total wreck. Can you explain that, Hall?
Can't explain now. Keep coming. We'll report to Bradford your position and speed. That is all, J12C. That is all.
Hold it, Hall. Your last message said the bosun was ill. Reassure him all is well. Get that, Hall.
Hey, what did you turn that generator off for? I wanted to hear what Johnson had to say about the boson.
I realize that, but it will do you no good to hear more about it, nor will it aid Johnson.
Oh, is that so? Well, there's a couple of things you don't know.
Silence. I am completing my calibration of Johnson's speed and position with relation to ours. He is making 35 knots, we 25. His position is 27:30, ours 28:15. We will be directly under Johnson's boat in exactly 45 minutes. You will be free to observe the meeting and the Euclidean method of handling such trifling details.
Oh, you may not find it so trifling if Johnson's all set for you.
Please be careful, Jerry. Say nothing.
I won't have to say anything. Johnson will do all that.
If you think you are going to surprise me because that homing pigeon you call the bosun will arrive at Johnson's boat before we do, you underestimate my intelligence.
Jerry, she knew about the pigeon.
Naturally. And what can Johnson do with the message he will take from the pigeon?
Why, gee, I guess he can't do anything with it.
Precisely. So you see, my young fool, in 45 minutes we will have Johnson, boat, pigeon, formula, and all.
The program you are about to hear is fiction, science fiction. We make no guarantees, however, how long it will remain fiction.
Exploring tomorrow.
And now here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, the editor of Astounding Science Fiction magazine, John Campbell, Jr.
Dreams are a remarkable thing, a remarkable power of the human mind. Freud, the psychoanalytical school, has held very important. But there's one aspect of dreaming that they deny, they overlook, perhaps. That's tonight's story. If someone handed you a photograph of a man's face and said, do you know who this is? Suppose that was a photograph of yourself 20 years from now. You'd have an awful hard time recognizing that. We can recognize a picture of something that we have seen. It is impossible to recognize something that we haven't yet seen. Let's say we have a patient who comes into a analyst's office, a badly frightened man.
Dr. Sharp, my name's Jim Bedford. I got your name from the National Health Trust. They say you're the quick shock analyst they'd recommend in this area.
It's nice of the Health Trust to say that. Builds up my morale in these troubled post-war times.
They speak very highly of you. I feel so darn silly running to a psychiatrist. That's for old ladies. Maybe we better forget it. I've got a lot of pressing work that I really should be taking care of.
Let's see, Mr. Bedford. Now, according to the data you gave my secretary, you're with the State War Reclaim Bureau.
Yes, that's right. I'm regional director. I've been with the Bureau all my adult life since 1971. Since the Doom War.
It must be rewarding work watching the radioactive ash cleared away, houses and stores springing up again after so many decades, seeing the city itself come back from the rubble, knowing you could take a good share of the credit.
That's going to be a long task, another generation.
Sit down and you tell me about it.
No couch? I thought all you psychoanalysts had couches. This office building was lucky to escape being hit.
Yes, it's one of the few pre-war buildings left in this part of Sacramento. Matter of fact, it was your War Reclaim Bureau that loaned my family the money to rebuild.
Doctor, why is it happening to me? What am I going to do? I have to stay at my job. Nobody else can do it. Nobody else knows this area the way I do. Nobody knows the people here the way I do.
You were born here, were you?
Yes, I've lived in Sacramento all my life.
What is it that's bothering you?
I have some kind of hallucination. It keeps getting worse. I've tried to shake it, but it comes back bigger and stronger. Now it's getting so that I can't work. I can't do my job.
I'm starting up recall-inducing equipment, Mr. Bedford. It'll put you in a state of semi-sleep for a few moments. I'd like you to tell me what this hallucination is. Then maybe I can tell you why you have it. And maybe help you deal with it.
Damage inventories. Must be 1 million of them stuck in the basket today alone. Oh, I ought to quit and go to bed and get some sleep. Where's the report on that mutant rat they've been killing? One that spins webs. Better okay the extermination program. Poisoned grain probably be best, if it eats grain. Probably have to ask for federal aid. Not enough funds to do the job right. Oh, I'll okay the extermination and hope they can raise the funds. Bad enough to have ordinary rodent infestation. Plague carriers, the worst possible sanitation menace.
Menace, huh?
Oh, it's you, Giller. How did you get into my apartment?
Front door was unlocked. I'm sorry to interrupt your work.
Well, I was about to stop. What time is it? Past midnight. You want a beer? I'm going to have one.
Sizing invaluable grain off to make beer in these times of need. Must be nice to be a big wheel and have luxuries. Your own stove, refrigerator. You know, I haven't had beer since last May.
You'll survive. You've always managed to. Trade some of that black market coffee of yours or some of those eggs from your chickens.
You know, we lost all our chickens. That blood disease from the old H-bomb blast. Take a look at this.
Your application for aid?
Turned down.
I know.
Why?
Don't ask me why. Oh, okay. I'm the responsible person. I turned it down.
You and I have been friends since we were kids.
So what?
You get a kick out of it, lording it over the people you've known. People who were something in the community before the Doom War. People you had to look up to and say sir to.
I'm sorry about your poultry farm. I'm sorry for all the poultry raisers, you included, and the beef raisers and the walnut growers, but certain things have to be rebuilt before others. Heavy industry comes first. Factories, steel and cement and fuel producers, synthetic fabric.
We're your people.
Good night, Giller. Write me a letter on the proper form.
I'll talk to you in a few days about my application for aid. Maybe you'll change your mind. Come around.
Giller ever got that farm going, he'd be the biggest black market operator in California. $5 a piece for grade A eggs, and he knows where to get it. Everybody trying to swing a deal, make money, cash in on people's hunger. I wonder if he's really gone, or if he's hanging around outside. People like him get on my nerves. I better go see. Make sure.
Has some kind of fear of a basic insecurity, a feeling that he's faced with a problem that he must solve, then can't solve. But he's got to solve it, but he can't solve it, but it must be solved.
Mr. Bedford. I'm falling. Help me, I'm falling.
No, you're not. You're here in my office, sitting in a chair.
Huh? Yes. But I was falling. I started to go out of my apartment. I opened the door to the hall, and there wasn't any floor under my feet, just emptiness. And I tried to grab hold of something, and there wasn't anything, nothing at all, anywhere. Just darkness.
What happened next? Were you hurt?
Doctor, how could I have been hurt? It was just in my mind. Maybe I stumbled or something, but I didn't fall, because there was no place to fall.
Momentary dizziness from overwork, fatigue.
Yes, maybe.
And since then, you've had a fear of falling.
A phobia. Phobia about high places.
Okay, Mr. Bedford, let's try another recall. Now, this time, I want you to remember more about the falling and your friend Giller.
Stop it! Don't kill me! Don't throw me over the rail, please!
Shut up. Well, you probably think I'm going to give you one last chance before we toss you off this ramp.
Not my fault. I tried to get funds. Bureau's short on funds. Terrible task ahead.
He can't hear you.
Bedford, I came to you and begged you to okay our application, but you turned us down. You did all you could to block it.
Black market rebel? Police never seem to get you all. Probably bought off.
That's right, bought off. Now, look, Bedford, for old time's sake, you want to get in on this along with us. I'll let you in. I have a sentimental feeling towards you. I think you sincerely felt you shouldn't okay our application.
I never will. Even if you kill me.
Oh, you mean that?
I got my job, responsibility. Heavy industry comes first.
Remember when there were eggs, how the shells looked when they were dropped? Remember how it felt to crush the eggshell underfoot? How did that old nursery rhyme go about putting the pieces of the shell back together? By the way, Bedford, we're making sure the next regional director isn't so devoted to heavy industry. We're getting in somebody with, shall we say, an agricultural frame of mind?
Okay, let's finish this up and get going. Get him over the rail. It's almost a mile to the ground. How could a thing like this happen to me and be forgotten? Can a person forget being knocked down, kicked, and threatened with death?
It wasn't forgotten. It remained buried beneath, repressed. We'll have to try some more recall, Mr. Bedford. So far, I don't have enough to go on. Now, this business of Giller and his men beating and terrorizing you provides what's called the traumatic incident, the moment of fear that starts the chain reaction of repression going. But, are you willing to try another recall?
Not now, Doctor.
We shouldn't stop at this point.
I couldn't stand anymore. Tomorrow, maybe.
We'd better go on now, Mr. Bedford. Now, from what you recalled, I got an impression that there's no time to waste. I don't think they just beat you up and threatened you. I think they did throw you over the rail to your death. I think they killed you.
All right, Doctor. I'll let you start your recall and disengage it again, but don't make me go back to that moment. Something else. I couldn't stand to see them standing there above me. Higher and higher, and then the ramp and the railing disappearing.
This time, I'd like you to think of something pleasant, satisfying. Perhaps a day in your work when you were particularly pleased with what you accomplished.
The public baths. Kids splashing around, lots of hot water. Wonder how many of us would be dead by now. Dead from contamination from the perpetual fallout if we hadn't built those huge pools and fountains over there. It's the hardest decision I ever made. I felt like a lunatic, giving them the go-ahead. A lot of people were angry about that. But after I saw the figures from the Anti-Radiation Committee, it had to be done. No matter how many people got angry. I know my duty. It's to the whole people, not a few special groups here and there.
You say you okayed the building of mass public baths, and you actually stood and watched the people bathing.
That's right. Togas, like ancient times.
Mr. Bedford, I want you to listen to me carefully. I have something important to say to you.
What's wrong, Doctor?
Well, as a licensed general practitioner, I've been interested in the idea of public baths as an anti-radiation measure. In my opinion, it's a sound idea. But the proposal hasn't yet been put through. No baths have been built. It'll be at least 5 years before the baths can be put into operation. The usual interpretation doesn't quite shake. Sometimes the dream isn't quite usual. If a man has a dream of the future, it's awfully hard to identify its source, because the source hasn't happened yet. Tell me, Bedford, you were exposed to a great deal of radiation in the early part of your life, and so were your parents. That's right. We all were. We all went through the blasts and the heavy fallout of the war, the contamination of our food, water, homes, clothing. Do you remember any unusual exposure, either to you or to your parents, radiation approaching a dangerous maximum?
Let me try to remember. I'm confused. You think I'm some sort of a freak.
Stop sitting there in the chair insulting yourself. You have to make plans.
Plans? There's nothing I can do. There's no way I can stop him.
Try to remember any toxic dose of radiation, especially in the earliest part of your life. Now go back to the enemy missile attack. Sirens. Can you hear sirens? You're possibly running toward a shelter. Your family running, too. Across a field, maybe.
I'm sorry, Doctor. I've had all I can take. I'll see you again some other time.
You're leaving?
Thanks for the help. I've got to consider all this. Maybe I'm not remembering the future. Maybe it's just a false memory, a neurotic fantasy. How could we check? If it's really in the future...
What's the matter?
I can't get up. What? I can't stand up. I'm afraid I'll fall. Doctor, now I can't even get to my feet.
Well, make yourself comfortable in your chair, and we'll go on with the therapy, as I said we should.
I guess I have no choice.
Now, you know what we're after this time. At some point in your life, you apparently were exposed to a near-toxic dose of radiation.
Wait for me. Hey, don't leave me behind. Come on back. Hey, Tony, wait for me.
Hurry up.
Okay. Let's get down. Get the metal lid off. And lift it. They're almost here. Get the lid of the shelter up so we can get down there and be safe.
You scared, Jimmy?
Yes. Open that lid.
Not until you apologize for what you said in class the other day. You said my family moved here because they thought nobody would bomb this sector. You said my family was scared of being bombed. Okay, let's see.
Yes, I remember. When Tony and I were kids during the war. We got the scuffling, seeing who was braver. And while we were scuffling, the first warhead exploded a couple of miles up the coast.
So that's where you got the near-toxic dose?
Yes. The whole place was saturated. Hot. They had to rope off the rubble, close the roads. I was in the hospital for a month, down in the underground medical wards along with the real casualties.
Weren't you a real casualty?
No, I wasn't hurt. They made all the tests. They found no sign of tissue damage, blood count okay, bone marrow unaffected, no cancerous formations.
But now you know you were affected.
Yeah, I was affected.
Now listen to me, Mr. Bedford. You still have time to re-examine your dealings with Gillard.
You mean give him the Bureau funds he wants so he can set up his black market operations? No, Dr. Sharp. I have my responsibility to the people of this area. Those funds have to be given to the proper applicants.
Even if it means your life?
Yes, even if it means my life. I'm still not going to give Gillard the funds.
I respect you, Mr. Bedford. I can see why the government gave you the job.
I've tried to do it right. I feel proud of what I've done. The hygienic baths, evidently I'll be successful there. That alone makes it worthwhile. I don't feel too depressed. All in all, it was worth it. A lot of people died in the war. My death comes a number of years later, but, well, I can possibly consider it as a bona fide war death.
With honor.
Hey, look, I can stand up now. I'm on my feet. Bringing up that material about the radiation exposure must have done it.
Do you intend to come back again and see me?
No, there doesn't seem to be much of a reason.
I'd like to keep on trying. Maybe there's a junction of possible futures. Some point in time at which we can deflect the future that's waiting for you.
I'll think about it. Goodbye, Doctor. And thanks a lot for trying.
Did you wish to see me? My name is Tony Gillard. I'm sorry to bother you, but this constitutes an emergency. I got, it's a compulsion. And it's following up my life. Sit down. Tell me about it. I have an irresistible urge to push people. Push people?
towards the windows, out. What am I going to do, Doc? There was a little shrimp of a guy I pushed once, and one day a girl was standing ahead of me on an escalator, and I shoved her. She was injured. I'm afraid I'll eventually kill somebody someday. Some perfectly harmless person who never did anything wrong in his life.
The stone is never afraid of anything. The stone has no sense of futurity, no sense of a future to control. Wherefore, it has no fear. If you can feel fear, it means that you can sense the future. To the extent that you can sense the future, you can control it. You don't have to be stuck with any particular future. If you take the trouble to dream about the future, then you have a chance to do something about the future. If you don't like atomic wars, you have a chance to do something about it, provided you dream that it's there. Nightmare or not, you have a chance to do something.
The transcription feature, Superman. Guys, look, it's a plane. It's a plane. It's Superman.
And now, Superman, champion of the weak and the oppressed, who came to Earth on the planet Krypton with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a large metropolitan newspaper. Superman, in the guise of Clark Kent, and Jimmy Olsen are visiting the ranch of a wealthy Indian oil man called Comanche Joe. Many strange accidents have happened on the ranch, and each one has been preceded by the lonely cry of a coyote. As our last episode ended, Comanche Joe, convalescing from burns sustained during a fire at the oil wells, and received a message saying that when the coyote howled 3 times, he would die. We find ourselves now in Comanche's bedroom at the ranch house. His brothers of the Comanche tribe are seated in a circle on the floor, beating drums to ward off evil spirits. Outside the house, many other Indians stand guard.
Look there, Kent. The edge of the moon over Sugarloaf Mountain. Somehow I have a feeling my time has come.
Comanche, I tell you,
Listen. There it is.
Oh, go doggy.
That is the second time. When the coyote howls 3 times, I die.
You've got to hold on to yourself. You mustn't let this thing get the better of you.
It's no use, Kent. There's nothing we can do against this thing. When the coyote howls... I'm going to die, Kent. I'm going to die.
Quiet. Won't do anyone any good to get excited.
How will I die? How will death come for me? And why doesn't it come? The coyote has howled 3 times. Wait. Open up the light in here. What's happening? The window. Something has come through that window. I heard the gas. Wait. I know there's something in this room. A scream. Right outside my window. Come, we go. Wait, Ted. Ted. Where's Ted?
Right here, Comanche.
Where have you been? Did you hear that scream?
Yes, it came from right outside your window. We'd better see what caused it.
Yeah.
There, look. Your men have gotten hold of someone. Someone lying on the ground outside your window.
It's an Indian brave. What could have happened to him? How was he doing so close to my window?
Well, we'll soon find out, I think.
Yes, bring that man forward. Who is this man?
We not know. Him not our tribe.
Let me go. Let me go, you hear? No, he's not a member of the tribe. He's not even an Indian. Comanche, I think if you dig down beneath that war paint and that Indian costume, you'll find one of your cowboys, a man called Tex.
No. Why, of course. Tex, what's the meaning of this? What were you doing outside my window? Why are you dressed like an Indian?
I'll tell you anything. Anything you want to know. Just keep that thing away from me. Keep it away from me.
What are you talking about? What thing?
Whatever it was come through that window at me. I was standing out here, looking in through the window, when sudden like the lights inside went out. The next thing I know, this thing crashed through the window at me. It come right out of your room, through the window. Its hands went around my throat. I thought my neck was busted. I never did feel anything so strong before.
Is that why you screamed?
Yeah, I thought I was a goner sure.
Something crashed through the window from my room. What could it have been?
Eagle in shape of man.
What's that?
In your room, we beat drum. We call spirit who saved little laughing squirrel. We call spirit of eagle in shape of man. Spirit of Superman.
Superman? Kent, do you think it might have been that?
Afraid I don't put much stock in things like that, Comanche. What I'm more interested in knowing is what Tex was doing outside your window before this thing, whatever it was, hit him.
Yes, you've got something there. All right, Tex. If you know what's good for you, you'll talk.
I'll talk, don't worry. I ain't taking no more chances, Comanche.
Yes, you what?
I was aiming to...
You were aiming to kill Comanche, is that it?
Kill him? I don't know. All I know is Rawson give me this blowgun.
Rawson? That blowgun?
Let me see that blowgun. Oh, this is how Dusty met his death.
You mean to say, Kent, that Dusty was killed with a blowgun?
Yes. Just as you might have been killed if something hadn't happened to prevent it. Here, have a look. See, there's a small dart, hardly more than a piece of thorn. No doubt coated with something deadly poison. That's why we found no wounds or other marks on Dusty's body. Rawson probably opened the window of the living room where we were standing at the time without our knowing it, and blew the small dart at Dusty, just as Tex here was going to do with you.
Why, you blasted murdering...
I didn't know it'd kill you. Rawson put me up to it. It was Rawson, I swear.
Then it looks like the first thing we've got to do is to get Rawson. You, my brothers, some of you hold this man prisoner. The rest of you come with me. Come on, Kent. We're going to get our hands on Rawson and get to the bottom of this killing business right now. Open up in there, Rawson. Open up. All right, we'll have to break the door down. Lend a hand here, Kent.
Okay, Comanche.
Come on.
He's not here. There's no one here.
So I see. I wonder if he's... Oh, the devil, he's escaped. He must have heard of Texas capture and skinned off into the hills.
But he's only got a 10 or 15-minute start, Comanche.
That's true, but we could never find him in the mountains.
Why?
He's a good woodsman. He'll be covering his tracks all the way.
Comanche become like paleface. Comanche forget what Indian know.
What are you talking about, my brother?
Us, your brothers. Us capture Rawson.
But how? Even you couldn't follow trail that Rawson's taken pains to cover up.
Maybe he's got another idea, Comanche.
It's so. Maybe it take time. 1 day, 2 days, maybe more. But we get him. We get him.
Are you sure?
You wait. You see. Astro!
Bent on following some plan of their own for the capture of Rawson, Comanche's Indian brothers leave him. Kent and Comanche return to the ranch house, where a surprise awaits them.
Tumbleweed Joan.
Hiya, Comanche. Just arrived back here a little while ago. What's all the ruckus?
I'll tell you about it later, but how did you get back here?
Yes, and where's Jimmy Olsen?
Why, he's the reason I come on back here tonight. Doctor says he's fit enough to be moved back to the ranch house tomorrow morning. But he says we'll have to use the gas buggy. Can't have the boy traipsing around on a horse. Well, I don't know how to operate one of them gas buggy critters, so I thought I'd get Comanche here, or you, Kent, to drive over for him tomorrow.
Why didn't you telephone?
Well, I wanted to get back here so as I could finish up working on that bow and arrow set for Jim there. Have it ready for him when you bring him back here tomorrow.
How about it, Kent? Will you drive over in the morning?
I'll drive over tonight if you don't mind. I'm kind of a little anxious to see Jimmy again.
I don't blame you. All right, Kent. We'll get the old buggy out and brush it off so you can drive over tonight.
Meanwhile, off in the hills, Indian tom-toms begin to beat. All through the night, the strange drumming of the tom-toms is heard. The dawn breaks over the mountains. A weary and anxious Rawson rides alone through the wilderness.
Oh, they've got me. Them Indians and their blasted drums have been circling me all night, throwing in on me closer and closer. I'm completely surrounded by a circle of Indians getting closer to me all the time. I'll never be able to get through. Well, there's only one thing to do. I'm heading for the cave. I've got a carbine and plenty of ammunition. I'll be able to hold them off for a while anyways. Maybe something will turn up. But if it don't, well, I'll get a lot of them before they get me. Get up there. Get up!
Comanche, them drums has been beating all night and all morning.
Yes, Tumbleweed. Now I know what my Indian brother meant last night when he said they'd capture Rawson in time. From the sound of those drums, they've got Rawson encircled. It won't be long before they'll have him.
And what you say we ride on up there? I want to be there when they get their hands on Rawson.
You say Rawson is in that cave?
Yes, so, Comanche. Rawson in cave. Rawson, good shot. Him kill. First man go near him.
He's got the advantage, all right. The entrance to that cave isn't very large. No chance of getting in without Rawson getting the drop on you. Well, I'll have to chance it. Rawson's a good shot, but I may be able to get him before he gets me.
I reckon as how you got that wrong, Comanche.
Now, wait a minute, Tumbleweed.
I got to settle with Rawson for what he did to little Jimmy. This is my job, Comanche.
The man who goes in there after him, Tumbleweed, probably won't come out alive.
I know that. But somebody's got to go in after him, and it's going to be me.
Now, hold on, Tumbleweed. I've been the cause of all this trouble.
We're wasting time, Comanche. We're talking coin. Whoever wins goes in after Rawson. That okay with you?
All right.
I'll toss the coin. I'm calling heads, Comanche. Heads it is.
Now, Tumbleweed.
Don't you worry about me none. I've been itching for this chance for a long, long time.
You better take my carbine.
Carbine? I don't have no truck with firearms. If I can't put an arrow through Rawson's heart, I don't deserve to come out alive. Rawson! Rawson, can you hear me?
I hear you all right.
I aim to give you one chance for your life. Come on out of that cave and come quiet, and you'll get a trial by law.
You want me, Tumbleweed? You'll have to come in and get me.
That's what I was hoping. Rawson, here I come.
Bow and arrow in hand, Tumbleweed Jones moves slowly, carefully toward the entrance to the cave. Rawson, carbine ready, waits to put a bullet through his heart. Can Jimmy Olsen's friend possibly emerge victorious? And what can Superman, unaware of Tumbleweed's danger, do to help? Be sure to hear the next thrilling episode of our story with Superman. And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman. Up in the sky, look! It's a plane! It's a plane! It's Superman! Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman! Up in the sky! Look! It's a plane! It's a plane! It's Superman! And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. Many adventures have befallen Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen on their visit to the ranch of Comanche Joe, wealthy Indian oil man. Our last episode revealed that Rawson, Comanche Joe's ranch foreman, was responsible for the strange accidents which were always preceded by the weird howling of a coyote. While Superman, in the guise of Clark Kent, drove into town to bring Jimmy Olsen back from the doctor, the warriors of the Comanche tribe surrounded the escaping Rawson and drove him into a mountain cave. Just inside the entrance of the cave, Rawson waits, rifle in hand, resolved to sell his life dearly. Tumbleweed Jones, Jimmy's friend, prepares to go in and get him.
Listen. We've tossed a coin, Comanche, and I've won. I reckon as how it's up to me to go in and hog-tie that coyote Rawson.
Well, all right, Tumbleweed, all right. But here, you better take my rifle.
Rifle? You know I don't have no truck with firearms. I'll stick to my bow and arrow. I can't put an arrow through Rawson's heart. I don't deserve to come out alive. Rawson! Rawson, can you hear me?
I hear you all right, Tumbleweed.
I aim to give you one chance for your life. Come on out of that cave and come quiet, and you'll get a trial by law.
You want me, Tumbleweed? You'll have to come in and get me.
That's what I was hoping. Rawson, here I come.
Tumbleweed, be careful. He's probably drawing a bead on you right now.
I ain't aiming to walk right up to that cave, right smack out in the open. I reckon it's how I can show Rawson a trick or two he never heard of before. Now, if I can just make that thing for his spot. Here goes. God, that was close. Kind of exciting.
Tumbleweed!
Yeah, Rawson.
I missed you that time, but I won't miss again. You'll have to make for that next tree, Tumbleweed, and I'll cut you down before you reach it.
He's got something there. Well, only one thing to do. I'll stick my hat on top of this arrow here and draw his fire. The minute he shoots, I'll skim to that tree. Hope I can make it before he shoots again. Now, just stick the hat out in front of the tree where Rawson can see it. Run like the dickens. Dive for that tree, Tumbleweed. Dive. Phew. What do you know? I made it. Now, I'll just stick an arrow to my bowstring and start working my way up to the cave to these bushes. Here we go now.
Yeah. This rifle's fully loaded now, so I'm ready for anything. Tumbleweed must be working his way through them bushes, but I'm danged if I can see it. Wait. There he is. Rolling along that ledge. Inching his way along toward the entrance here. Well, here's where Rawson gets you, Tumbleweed, and gets you free. Gotta take it easy now, plenty of time. Lay that sight right on his chest. And then just press the trigger slow, like this. Oh! Now, with my hand. Shut so quickly up. Got to pull this arrow out of my hand. Better get back into the cave where that can't happen again. Last trip I'll get him surely. Well, here's the entrance to the cave, and wait a minute. Blood. I must have got Rawson with that arrow, all right. It's pretty black inside that cave there, and it's pretty light out here. He'd be able to see me, maybe, but I won't be able to see him. Well, guess I'll have to do a little crawling. Got to hug that wall like it was a part of it. You see, I crawled for a little refreshing. Where'd I put that? Here it is. Take my vote. Yes, sir, best hug ever made. There's nothing like... What? Suffering prairie dogs, I was close. Dang it. Made me swallow my fudge, too. But that shot gave me some idea where Rawson is. Down on your belly, Tumbleweed, and start crawling into that cave. That's progress. Now, my shoulder. He got me.
You bet I got the Tumbleweed.
Luck, that's all it was. Just luck, Rawson.
Yeah? Well, if that bullet didn't break your shoulder, I'll be very much surprised. You can't use that bow and arrow now, Tumbleweed, so it's my turn to howl.
Blast ya.
Here I come, Tumbleweed. Here I come to put a bullet through you.
You got me all right, Rawson, but you'll never get away. Comanche Joe's outside and them Indians. They'll get you sure.
I know that. It's going to give me a lot of satisfaction to take some of you with me. And you're the first, Tumbleweed. I'm drawing a bead on your heart. In another few seconds, you're a dead man. Well, ain't you gonna beg me to let you go? Ain't you gonna plead with me to spare your life?
I ain't begging, Rawson.
No, Tumbleweed? Well, then, I'm shooting.
No, I'm sorry, Doctor. Jimmy and I would like to spend more time with you here in town, but we really must be getting back to Comanche Joe's ranch.
Yes, Doc. We just gotta go. I'm kind of anxious to get back because Tumbleweed Jones said he was going to have a surprise for me.
Yes.
Besides, Doctor, I'm anxious to find out whether or not they've captured Ross.
Well, you can telephone the ranch house, can't you?
Why do that, Doctor, when it won't take more than a few hours to drive back over the mountains to Comanche's ranch?
Because I want you to remain here as my guest for a while.
I know, but...
Great heavens, Mr. Kent. Look, you arrived here last night to take Jimmy back with you. Well, I spent the most interesting evening I've had in many a year talking with someone who knows what's going on in the world. Now you want to leave.
Oh, but we've got to, Doctor. Gosh, I'm just dying to find out what kind of a surprise Tumbleweed Jones has for me.
Now, look here. It's late in the afternoon. It'll be dark before you reach Comanche Joe's ranch. Besides, Kent, Jimmy here ought to have another good night's rest before taking that trip. Especially in that dilapidated old junk heap you call an automobile.
Well, Comanche Joe doesn't have much use for modern inventions. Doctor, I'm sorry. I'd really like to spend another night here with you. I've enjoyed our long talks together as much as you, but... Well, I feel I really ought to get back to the ranch this afternoon.
Well, I suppose there's nothing I can say or do that'll change your mind, Mr. Kent.
I'm afraid not, Doctor.
And there's another reason I want to get back, Doctor.
Yes, Jimmy?
You see, sir, I'm now a member of the Comanche tribe.
Oh.
Chief Running Fox was teaching me how the Indians send messages by beating on drums.
Oh, yes, very interesting. You know, Kent, on a quiet night sometimes you can hear the Comanche drums far off in the hills, sending messages from one tribe to another.
That's all.
So you're learning the language of the drums, are you, Jimmy?
Yes, sir. So you see, we've simply got to go.
Well, I see. Much as I hate to see you go, I won't detain you.
I'll see you to that monstrosity you call a car.
Will Jimmy be all right, Doctor? I mean, anything we should do?
Oh, I don't think so, Mr. Kent. Just be sure to keep clean bandages on his head, and Jimmy, you take it easy. No excitement of any kind for a while.
Okay, Doc. Hey, look at the car.
What?
Oh, a flat tire.
Not one flat tire, Kent, but two of them. Look there.
Yeah, you're right. That car hadn't been used in so long a time, I guess the rubber on those tires is pretty far gone.
To say nothing of those mountain roads.
Well, we have to get these fixed. We haven't got a spare. We'd need two anyway.
Now, look, there's a gas station at the other end of town, and I can call up and have someone come out. It'll take time, Kent. So I suggest you change your mind and stay the night.
Oh, I don't know. How long will it take to fix these tires?
Oh, an hour or two at least. By that time, it'll be close to dark. Frankly, Kent, it wouldn't be good for Jimmy, driving those awful mountain roads and being out in the night air and all that.
Holy mackerel, Tumbleweed said he'd have that surprise.
Well, Jimmy, I'm afraid the surprise will have to wait until tomorrow. All right, Doc, you win. Jimmy and I will stay over till tomorrow morning.
Unaware of the exciting events taking place back at the ranch, Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen decided to remain at the doctor's another night. Yet at that very same moment, back in the cave...
In another few seconds, Tumbleweed, you're a dead man. Well, ain't you going to beg me to let you go? Ain't you going to plead with me to spare your life?
I ain't begging, Rawson.
No, Tumbleweed. Well, then, I'm shooting. Oh, Mom! Oh.
Sorry, but I had to shoot first.
Comanche Joe, what are you doing here?
Saving your life at the moment,
And
Tumbleweed.
getting yourself into danger. Dang you, Comanche, we tossed a coin, didn't we? And I won the toss, didn't I?
You forgot to take the coin with you, Tumbleweed. When I found out it had two heads, you couldn't possibly have lost. It's a good thing I decided... Rawson, stand where you are. Don't try to move back into this cave.
I know I ain't got a chance, Comanche, but neither have you. There ain't one of us going to leave here alive. Put down that gun. I don't. All right. You asked for it. What? You coming?
Oh, Comanche, what? He got you, didn't he?
Yes, Tumbleweed. But I got him, too. Rawson?
I'm finished again.
Fine mess. All three of us badly wounded. We'd better move out of here. Get some first aid. Tumbleweed, do you think you can...
Comanche, wait, listen. That rumbling near the entrance.
What?
Look out. Look out, the wall's up there. It's caving in.
All that shooting, that's what did it.
Well, the rock has stopped falling. But it's dark in here now. Pitch black. Comanche, what do you think?
We're walled up. Hundreds of tons of rock. The entrance to the cave is completely blocked off.
Do you think they can get through to it?
Rawson, Tumbleweed, I think we'd better face it. We're wounded, all three of us, and in pretty bad condition. In another few hours, the air in here is going to start getting low. They've got to reach us in 2 or 3 hours.
Do you think they will? You think they'll be able to get through all that rock in a couple of hours?
No, Tumbleweed. No.
Trapped. Entombed within the cave, Comanche, Tumbleweed, and Rawson are in a pretty bad way. Can Superman, having decided to remain in town and unaware of their danger, possibly help them? Be sure to hear the next thrilling episode of our story with Superman. And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Stand by to raise ship. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0!
As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. In the steaming gaseous fog which forever shrouds the planet Venus, A tall, solidly built young man wearing the trim uniform of a space cadet strides briskly along a deserted street in the city of Venusport on his way toward the spaceport. Suddenly, another tall young man steps out of a darkened alleyway, trailed closely by a smaller, wizened follower, and plants himself in the cadet's path.
Excuse me. You're Cadet Astro, aren't you?
What?
Yes, I am. Who are you? Don't you recognize me? Take a close look. What? Jumping Jupiter. Surprised? Why, you look just like me. Yes. Amazing resemblance, isn't it? In case you've forgotten, I'm your cousin, Mirko. My cousin? You've heard of me. Yes, I have. Nothing very complimentary, I'll bet. No, not very. I didn't think so. Come on, let's go someplace and get acquainted, Astro. Sorry, I've got to get to the spaceport and catch a ship back to Earth. I'm afraid you won't be able to make that ship, Astro. What do you mean? I've got other plans for you. All right, Beale. Hey, wait a minute. What is this? Who are you? Ooh. Nice work, Beale. Now let's drag my dear cousin Astro inside and go to work on him. Come on, Astro. Wake up. Wake up. How much sodium pentothal did you give him, Beale?
Just enough to make sure he tells the truth when he comes to. Will you look at him, though? You and him are like two peas in a pod, Mirko.
My hair's a little darker.
That's easily fixed. When you put his uniform on, nobody will be able to tell you apart.
I hope not. If anything goes wrong, it'll mean my neck.
Nothing needs to go wrong if you keep your wits about you.
Oh.
He's coming too. Well, how are you feeling now, Astro, my lad?
Who are you? Where am I?
You're with a friend, lad.
A friend?
That's right. Stay behind him. Listen sharp to the way he talks, Mirko.
Right.
Now, Astro, I'd like you to tell me about Space Academy. About your friends there. Your unit mates.
Yes, sir.
I guess you know Tom Corbett and Roger Manning pretty well. Hey, Astro?
They're my best friends.
Tell me about them. Corbett first.
They don't come any better than Tom. He's a great guy. Beale, ask him if he and Corbett have nicknames for each other.
Tell me, you and Corbett have nicknames for each other?
No. Roger and I call each other names sometimes. He calls me Venusian Hillbilly or Clunkhead.
Uh-huh. What else about him?
Nothing much. Roger's all right. Just needs some of the space gas blown out of his tubes once in a while. Tom and I take care of that. We keep him in line.
Astro.
What's the matter with him, Beale? Why did he pass out?
The drug acts like that. He'll come to again in a few minutes, and I can pump in some more. Did you get everything he said?
Sure.
Next time, I'll ask him about Captain Strong and Commander Arkwright.
Don't bother. I have all the information I need on them.
Well, all right. You know, I think this will work out just fine, Mirko.
So far. But the big test comes when I show up at Space Academy. Incidentally, what happens to my dear cousin when I leave?
Never mind about him.
I do mind. I wouldn't want him showing up at the Academy, too.
You won't have to worry about that, Mirko. Your dear cousin Astro ain't ever going to see Space Academy again. We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Astro, Roger Manning, Dr. Joan Dale, Tom Corbett. You can get picture cutouts of all four on packages of Kellogg's Pep. You'll have a mountain of fun with these cutouts, spacemen. You can even build a setting to show your Space Cadet cutouts in action. Now, just suppose that the cadets had landed on the moon and were tracking down space pirates. Well, to show that, you draw a picture of the moon's surface, craters and all. Then you'd make a picture of the Polaris. Next, take the Space Cadet cutouts and put them right on the setting. And there you have it, a real Space Cadet scene. And once you get all four Space Cadet cutouts, you'll be able to use them all different ways. You can even act out today's adventure. So don't delay. Start collecting Space Cadet picture cutouts now. Have Kellogg's Pep for breakfast every morning. Kellogg's Pep gives you all the goodness of wheat, all the flavor of malt, all the get-up-and-go energy of a real spaceman cereal. When you finish the package, cut out the Space Cadet picture on the back. It's loads of fun to play with Space Cadet cutouts, And it's loads of fun to start off each day with a build-up wheat cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Unaware that their unit-mate Astro is being held prisoner on his home planet Venus, Tom Corbett and Roger Manning greet Astro's impersonator as he enters their dormitory.
Astro! Greetings, space boys.
Well, the Venusian hillbilly himself. Where you been, lunkhead? You had us worried.
You know those space liners. We were held up half a day on Luna, rounding up a couple of tourists who got lost.
A space liner? You came back on a space liner?
Well, sure.
You mean you bought passage on a ship when you could fly for free on a Solar Guard cruiser?
Oh, well, you know, finishing up your leave and all, you like to make a splash. And I always did want to ride in one of those floating space palaces.
You always swore you'd never set foot in one.
And where'd you get that kind of money? The fare on one of those jobs is almost a year's pay.
Well, you see...
Don't tell me you put the bite on your uncle.
Yeah, that's it.
Brother, why in blazes did you talk me into leaving Venus a week early, Tom?
Well, you said you wanted to prowl, Roger, and I wanted to see my folks, so...
Speaking of prowling, Roger, any new conquests?
Well, now that you mention it, Astro, old pal.
Oh, Astro, why'd you give him the opening?
There was the cutest little operator at Cadet Marshall's party last night. A real dick.
Yeah? How is Marshall? I haven't seen him in a long time.
Huh?
Are you kidding, Astro?
Why, no.
Oh, don't tell me you kissed and made up.
Well...
You and he almost tore each other apart the last time you met. How come the sudden change of heart?
Oh, well, I thought it over, and that was kid stuff. I just as soon drop the whole matter.
Huh? Well, I'll be a Martian mouse. What gives here?
I never saw you act like this before, Astro, or talk this way either. Astro, don't you hear me?
Tom, what's the matter with him? He's just standing there, staring.
Astro, what's wrong?
Come on, snap out of it, you big ape.
What?
Astro, you all right?
What happened?
That's what we'd like to know. We were talking to you, and all of a sudden you went clear out of this world.
Oh, the doctor said this would happen.
Oh, what doctor?
What's wrong with you?
Well, it's this way, fellas. I didn't want to say anything before, but Liner was... Well, I lied to you.
But why, Astro?
To cover up. You see, I had a little accident. It happened after you two left Venus. I hurt my head and was laid up at the hospital.
Why didn't you tell us?
Oh, I didn't want to spoil your vacation. Anyhow, the medico said I'd have, well, spells, you might call it, when I'd go blank and forget things.
Well, you still should be checked by the Academy medico.
Oh, but I'll fall behind in class. I'll lose my place with you fellas in the unit. Look, I promise, if I do any more blanking or anything like that, I'll see the medico. But right now, let me sweat it out, huh?
Well, if his doctor on Venus said it was okay for him to come back to the Academy, I guess it is, Tom.
Sure it is.
Well, maybe. Okay, Astro, we'll sweat it out with you. But we'll keep a close eye on you.
Thanks, Tom.
Gosh, Astro, I was starting to get some cockeyed ideas about you, but if you just fell on your head, well, you can't really damage that Venusian rot.
No, I guess I can't. And you just watch, fellas. Everything's going to work out fine.
MC 394. Marco calling Field. Marco calling Field. Come in.
Beale here. Go ahead, Mirko.
I just made the contact. I'll be able to swing it tonight, I think.
That's the way to talk. You have the schedule?
Yeah, but I want to double check. I'll contact you again later.
Right.
How's my charming cousin?
He's as snug as a bug. Don't worry about him.
I won't, as long as you're taking care of him. Well, talk to you later.
So long, Mirko. Do a good job tonight.
Hey, Roger. Roger, wake up.
Huh? What's the matter, Tom?
Get up, but be quiet about it. Astro just sneaked out of the dorm.
He what? But it's the middle of the night. Where's he going?
That's what we're going to find out. He had a package with him. Come on. Look, Roger. Astro's heading for the spaceport.
What in blazes is that lunkhead up to?
That's what I want to know. Keep moving, but stay in the shadows.
Tom, I don't like spying like this.
Oh, neither do I, but I think Astro's in trouble. If we can find out what it is, maybe we can help him.
Who said he's in trouble?
Well, there's something wrong with him. Haven't you noticed how
How different he's been since he came back from Venus. Well, the poor guy had a bad accident. He fell on his head. I know, but there's something else. Something I can't put my finger on. He's been, well, kind of sly. Sly? Astro? Oh, come off it, Tom. Well, what do you call sneaking out here in the middle of the night like this? Well, he must have had a good reason. Wait, look. He's heading for the Unit 2 cruiser, the Vega. Come on. What in blazes is that ape up to? Search me. Hey, look out for that crate, Roger. Ooh, blasted. Behind this ramp, Astro's turning around. I don't think he spotted us. Tom, look. You can see him clearer now. I think the poor guy's walking in his sleep. Well, you're space happy. He is. See how he's got his hands out in front of him? He wasn't walking like that before. Well, we couldn't see him clearly before. It was too dark. I'm sure of it. Hey, he went right past the Vega. He's heading for the canal. Come on, Tom. He's liable to fall right into the drink. Astro! Hey, Astro, wait! Not so loud, Roger. You'll bring the watch. Well, hurry up before he falls in. Here he is. I got him. See, his eyes are closed. Astro, wake up.
What? Tom, Roger.
Take it easy now, fella.
What are we doing out here?
You were walking in your sleep.
I was?
Looks like it. You never did this before, Astro.
Well, I did it at home a couple of times after the accident, Tom.
Oh?
Gosh, I'm sorry, fellas.
Get it. It wasn't your fault. Uh-oh. There's the watch. Come on. We can slip into the door in the back way.
Wait a minute.
What's the matter, Tom? Astro had a package with him.
A package?
Yes, you must have dropped it. Never mind. We've got to make tracks or we'll all land in the brig. Let's blast.
Beale here. About time you called in, Mirko. What in blazes happened last night? The boys were there when the Vega landed. There wasn't anything aboard. Central Control is burning mad.
Corbett, Manny caught me. It's all right, though. I made them think I was sleepwalking. Manny bugged my story, but I'm not positive about Corbett.
How about that?
Everything else is okay. But I don't want to try it again tonight, in case Corbett is still suspicious. I'll wait till tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. Understand?
Tomorrow. Right. But nothing's better go wrong again, Mirko.
It won't. This time, I'll make sure those cadet punks don't follow me. I've got to come out now, Theo. I won't contact you again unless the schedules change.
Right.
Well, looks like Tom and Roger were too smart for Mirko, huh, Beale?
Button, if you're still alive, we'll let him court-martial you for a traitor.
What? Oh, that's the way you're going to play it, huh?
That's the way, exactly.
Why, you dirty space crawler out?
Go on. Bust your muscles. You can't break them ropes.
Oh, I can't, huh?
Jupiter.
Now let's see if you can take it as well as you dish it out.
No, you don't. Keep back.
Don't go away, pal. You're going to have some sweet dreams. Right from my...
No.
Hey, Roger, look. What's that? The package Astro was carrying the other night. I just fished it out of the canal. He must have thrown it in when he heard us coming. Oh? What is it? Just a box. I'll try to get the top off with my knife. Tom, I don't understand you. You're acting as if you don't trust Astro. I'm not sure I do, Roger. There we are. Well, come on. What's in it?
Kind of curious, aren't you, fellas?
Astro.
So you found it, eh, Corbett? I figured you did when it wasn't in the canal.
Hey, Astro, what?
Smart, Corbett. But this time you outsmarted yourself. Now you and your pal are in trouble.
Maybe you're the one who's in trouble.
Not me. I just have to change my plans a little.
Look, what goes on here? Tom, Astro... He isn't Astro, Roger. Not Astro? No, I don't know who he is, but... A ray gun. Tom, he pulled a gun on us. What in the universe?
We're going out to the spaceport, boys. Right now.
What's the idea?
Just do as I say. You'll walk in front, Manning. Then Corbett. And I'll be right behind you. If you make one sound, I'll blast you. Now, march!
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by. There's big news at Kellogg's, spacemen, and that means good news for you. All the swell Kellogg cereals have been dressed up in brand new packages. You can see them right now at your grocery store. Why, some of the pictures on some Kellogg's packages look good enough to eat. But they're just there to show you what a swell cereal there is waiting inside for you. And don't forget, on the regular size package of Kellogg's Pep, you get an exciting Space Cadet picture cutout, one that you can make a stand for and put in a Space Cadet setting of your own. All the new faces on the Kellogg cereal packages are bright and happy pictures. You want to have one on your breakfast table every morning. And if it's a Kellogg cereal, you know that you're going to want a big bowlful, too. So make a date right now to go to your grocery store and see all the new faces on the Kellogg cereals. Then you'll be saying,
did you see what I saw? Kellogg's on display in brand new boxes, bright and gay. These famous cereals come your way. Go see this eyeful. The Kellogg's All-Star Breakfast Show has a cheerful look, a lift for you. Start you up with a hoop-de-doo. Kellogg's for breakfast and a happy, happy day. Get a big surprise today.
See the big K-Day display of the new Kellogg packages at your grocery store.
While the Academy sleeps, Tom and Roger are forced to go to the spaceport with Mirko, who is masquerading as Astro and who is armed. At Mirko's command, the two cadets approach the space cruiser Polaris, which looms sleek and gleaming under the pale light of the stars.
Blast it, but I was dumb, Tom, not to realize this guy wasn't Astro.
I wasn't exactly bright either, Roger, not to catch on sooner than I did.
All right, you two, hold it.
What happens now, Mr. Rat?
You'll find out, Manning. Turn around and face the ship.
Why?
Turn around, I said. You too, Corbett.
He's going to finish us with that ray gun and blast off in the Polaris, Tom.
Listen, Roger. Sounds like a ship coming in for a landing.
Yeah, it is. A solar guard destroyer.
It'll be too late to help you, Corbett. Hello.
Why, you slept, Tom.
And here's yours, Manning. Oh. Now, brother cadets, let's blast off for a nice little joyride in space.
Tom, you okay? That phony slug that's been tied us up and dumped us down here in the hold of the Polaris.
I feel like I've been run over by a steamroller, but I guess I'll live.
Not for long. That crazy space joker up on the control deck can't handle the ship alone.
Nothing much we can do about it now, I'm afraid. Hey, somebody's coming. You suppose it's jumping Jupiter Astro.
What?
Hello, fellas. Sorry I took so long getting up here, but riding acceleration without cushions is no picnic.
Astro? How in the universe did
Wait a minute, Tom. Maybe he isn't Astro. It's that other joker trying to trick us.
Why, you space-happy rockhead, if you don't know me by this time...
That's Astro, all right. Well, don't just stand there. Get us out of this.
All right. Keep your flaps trimmed.
Well, what's going on here anyway, Astro? Where have you been? Who is this character?
He looks enough like you to be your twin.
He's a cousin. Name's Mirko. Haven't heard from him in years. He and a gang he's working with nailed me on Venus when I was on my way back to the Academy.
But why?
Yeah.
Look, will you guys stop wriggling around and let me get these wires off?
Okay, but keep talking.
The idea was for Mirko to pose as me at the Academy and help this gang smuggle stuff out of Earth.
Where to? What kind of stuff?
I don't know. When I broke away from them yesterday morning, I didn't hang around to ask questions. Anyhow, Mirko would hide the stuff on Academy ships that wouldn't be suspected or even subject to customs search. And then the gang would pick it up at some spaceport en route.
Pretty clever operation.
There you are. You're both loose. Now, where's my dear cousin?
Topside, on the control deck.
He's liable to kill us all the way he's handling this ship.
Well, let's get him.
Oh, nothing doing, Roger. This is my job.
But Astro.
Look, Tom, after what I went through, I deserve this. You stay down here.
Better hurry up, Astro.
Don't worry. This will be short and sweet. Just stay there and listen.
Tom, you think maybe we'd better follow him?
No, this is his party. Let him enjoy it.
Hiya, cousin. Shake hands.
Wow, he sure is. Oh, listen to him. Those punches even hurt down here.
Maybe we had better break it up. There won't be anything left of Mirko.
Uh-oh, that sounded like taps to me. Astro, are you all right?
All right. I feel terrific.
Well, let's get up on the control deck. This ship is running away with us.
Okay. But look, I've been thinking, Tom.
Stick to your fists, Astro. You think a lot better with them.
Well, I'm serious. Instead of going back to the Academy, why don't we head for Venus and pick up the rest of that smuggling gang before they get away? I left them there when I escaped.
Hey, that's a great idea,
Are
Tom.
you guys kidding? Commander Arkwright would have our ears if we blasted off on our own. But we'll put it up to him when we get back.
A fine thing. Just when I was beginning to enjoy myself.
miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, when Tom, Roger, and Astro rocket to Venus on a dangerous assignment with the smugglers and find themselves in the greatest peril of their lives in Part 2 of The Riddle of Astro. Tune in, same time, same station, for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
Spaceman, this is Tom Corbett. Thousands of families have been driven from their homes by the floods in the Midwest, and they need our help now. And money from you and your parents will help them in this terrible emergency. So give to the Red Cross.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast were Al Markham and Jan Merlin. Today's program was written by Ben Peter Freeman and directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Begg speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret. In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal all in one box. And no other raisin brand but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
This program came to you from New York. America is sold on ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight, we escape into the mind of a man who has been sentenced to die. A man who attempts to refuse the bitter fate society has imposed upon him, as James Poe tells it in his seething tale of violent death, Present Tense, starring Vincent Price.
Dim pane, the cold, dark land wheels away, and the hills beyond, below the stars, are black and sharp. Dead hills, dark sky. Cold steel below my feet, cold as the face of the officer at my side, cold as the cuffs which link my arm to his, which join us on this journey to the prison where I die.
Want a cigarette?
No.
Go on, take one.
No, I don't use them.
Oh.
Has this happened to you before?
What?
Being handcuffed to a murderer. Has it happened to you before?
Sure, plenty of times.
To an axe murderer?
Yeah, there's nothing special, brother. Lots of guys axe their wives, lots of them.
I could have escaped after it happened, but I didn't, and now it's too late. Late. Late, ever too late. Never too late, too late, too late. Escape. Escape. If the train were to be wrecked, if the detective were to be killed. Late. Late. The sweet escape. The light escape. The crash escape. No! darkness. Where am I? The cars must have gone down the gully. No lights and those people in pain. This thing fastened to my wrist went halfway through the glass of the door. Keep back from his blood. I don't seem to be hurt. No broken bones. His face. Now the keys in his pocket, his bloody pocket, and the cuffs are off. His gun and the wallet. His face. His face is gone. His own mother wouldn't know him. I'm free. Fire! Fuel oil! I must get away. Here, my ring onto his finger. There, that completes it. Yes. Up Beverly Glen, above Sunset. I'll show you where.
Gotcha. Read about the big train wreck?
Yes. Understand almost 100 were killed. Here you are. Keep the change.
Thanks.
My home. It looked so small, so shabby. No one took care of it during the trial. No one cared. No one cares now, but that's good. I like that. I'll be alone, and I won't let the neighbors see me, and I'll sleep and figure out where I go next. The light. Someone's in there.
The whole thing went so slick.
You'll always be the friend for both of us. Always.
Bet I will, baby.
No, it can't be. She's dead. I know she's dead.
Want another bottle of beer, honey? No?
Yeah, sure, it's cold.
You bet it's cold. That's right. I'm not.
You said a mouse away.
His husband of mine was never able to make me feel like this.
Takes a man, dude.
What we could do is sit around and write those poems all the time.
Well, he framed it so good that even he thought he killed you.
What was that?
Mice.
You're funny, you know that? You're real funny.
Open the kitchen door so quietly and walk softly. Here on the wall by the stove, the cleaver.
Hey, honest, I see something.
Nervous, baby. Relax just a little bit.
Even now it is she. How did they do it? How did they trick me into imagining the murder? I am innocent. The pig in his dirty undershirt. Soft, weak, white neck, fat on his arms. Pig. Grip the cleaver and walk like a feather. He shall be breakfast. Soft, white neck.
Honest, I hear something.
What's the matter, sweet niece? What's the matter?
You killed him!
Yes. And now you.
No!
I was innocent. And I thought myself guilty, and now I am truly guilty, and never in my life have I felt so innocent. Like a nightmare, the confession, the conviction, the sentence, and now, once more, dark night, cold steel, the sound of wheels, just as I lived it before. Why, even the cold face of the silent officer at my side, hard, cold face, so much like that other face.
Want a cigarette?
No.
Go on, take one.
No, I don't use them.
Oh.
Has this happened to you before?
What?
Being handcuffed to a murderer. Has it happened to you before?
Oh, sure, plenty of times.
To an axe murderer?
Yeah, you're nothing special, brother. Lots of guys axe their wives. Lots of them.
Were you ever cuffed to an axe murderer who killed two people at once?
What are you talking about?
My sin, my crime, what I did, I killed them both.
Slam. Hey, take it easy, brother. They only killed your wife. Just her, just one, that's all.
It has been raining for some days now. And beyond the barred window, the leaden sky bleeds sorrow on the barren land. The lonely land, the land beyond the prison wall. The sky was blue when first I came here, blue, so blue. And now it has become as the walls of my cell, of all our cells. Dark, cheerless cells, these lifeless cells, these cells of men who wait to die. That wet sky, gray sky, cheerless sky. But it is beautiful. I have 12 hours left of life, 12 hours left to live. Beautiful sky, beautiful, beautiful, wet and fresh and alive. Oh, rather would I spend eternity at a well's bottom with but one patch of that to gaze upon than leave this life, than leave this earth, than leave this sky. But leave it I must. The guard told me no man has ever escaped San Quentin's death row. Blocks and bars, guards and guns lie between me and the world beyond. No escape, not from here. But wouldn't it be nobler to gamble my life in bold attempt and lay it down in reckless resignation, eh? Oh, now to get out of this super-guarded area. Oh, guard! Guard!
Hey, fight down, cut it out. Well, what's wrong? What's the matter with you?
My gut, here, it's killing me.
Your gut, huh? Well, I'll call a medic. Now, as I press, you tell me where it hurts.
Everywhere, all over down here. There! Oh, don't touch that place again.
Call the ambulance. Right. This man's got appendicitis.
Do something.
Well, what do I do? Why didn't they send somebody with you?
The interns are all tied up. They're giving shots today.
Well, he's acting kind of crazy. Let's get him over to the hospital block. Now, hurry.
I can't drive any faster. My windshield's steamed up.
Oh, wipe it.
You got a rag?
Yeah, here. You could use my handkerchief.
Okay, pal. Give him the handkerchief.
Oh, my gun!
What? Keep right on driving through the gate, or the top of your head comes off.
You won't get away with this?
I will. I'm betting my life that I will. How far back is the prison?
About 15 miles. At least that.
Okay, pull over. I'm taking her from here. And you too. I want your money, your clothes. And then you can walk back and explain about me.
Explain about him?
They won't find the ambulance for days. Not at the bottom of that canyon. Now I crossed the border on foot and into Mexico.
Your drink, senor.
Oh, thank you. Say, when does the next bus leave for Mexico City?
At 12 o'clock, senor.
A little card, bought in a back room with no questions asked, and I become a tourist. 4 days' growth of beard, and I become poor. An empty suitcase with a butterfly net strapped to its outside, and I become a source of amusement. A funny, dumb gringo. And who looks with suspicion on the funny, dumb gringo tourist who is poor? Mexico City is beautiful, but not when you are hungry. Not when you are an American who is hungry. Americans aren't supposed to be hungry. What can I do? All I know is writing, the writing of poetry. There is one place I might sell some poems. Pollen. His magazine prints some English stuff. Perhaps... Well, why not? I have 3 pesos left. Buy some paper, a pencil, sit in the park, write, and storm the bastion.
Yeah? Yeah, that is good here.
Do you like them, Mr. Pollen?
Well, excuse me. Lucida, I have some poems here.
you see? The river doubles, dreaming dropples, better passion of my soul. Ah? Muy bueno.
Yeah, that is just what I thought.
You are too kind.
The poet should read his own work.
that drip, sweet droplet, passion's goblet, faiths I roll.
Lucita likes your stuff.
A rare woman.
And I like what Lucita likes.
Aha.
She says we do a book of your stuff.
Oh?
So here's an advance.
Too much.
Take it.
When the book?
Saturday.
Right.
Got the poem?
I'll get them.
Your name is?
Smith.
No good, $2.
So true.
I'll make a new one.
Please do.
And so?
Good day, and I'll be back.
Saturday.
With the poem. America. Miles below, the bleak brown mountains, the desert yellow and red. My own, my native land. My advance money went for new clothing and a round-trip plane ticket to Los Angeles and my new lease on life. In a small file under the eaves of the little house in Beverly Glen, there are poems, more than 1,000 of them, poems which no one has ever seen, poems written in the evenings after work on Sundays. And now, with the beard and the hat and the glasses, no one will recognize me. A cane. I ought to carry a cane, too. Get the poem. Does someone live there in the house? Has someone bought it? No matter. Get the poems, and then get back to Mexico City. Someone is living here. I wonder who. The hedge is trimmed. And my hammock. Someone's put on a new canvas cover.
Fred, get the door.
When you get it yourself, baby, I'm shaving.
Oh, all right. Yeah?
Oh, no, it can't be.
Well, what do you want?
Her face, it's Mary, but I thought I killed her.
Who is it, baby?
Well, what is it, mister? What do you want here?
Are you the lady of the house?
Huh? Who's that at the door?
Some creep with a beard. Yeah, I'm the lady of the house, but I don't want to buy anything.
Well, what is it, Santa Claus? What do you want?
Are you the man of the house?
Yeah, I'm the man of the house. And sweetmeat.
I'll say.
So what of it?
I'm making a survey. I'd like to ask a few questions. May I come in?
Well, I don't know.
Ah, let him. What's the difference?
Thank you. First, your name.
Name?
Yes, please.
Fred Smith.
Hey, where's he going? Mister, what do you want in my kitchen?
The cleaver, Mary. Don't you know me?
Mary. Hey, who are you, mister?
Look close, Mary.
The cleaver. Put it down.
Know me? Know the man you tricked into San Quentin?
No, don't. Put down that...
You killed him!
Yes, Mary. Yes.
No!
Confession, conviction, sentence, transportation, and... again, the death cell as before. But when I came here, they promised I could keep the beard. And it's gone. Gone. I can't remember when. What's that? Who's coming in?
Ready?
Ready.
It's time to go, my son.
Time to go.
You've refused my help up to now. But perhaps you'd like to walk with me.
Rather beside you, Padre, than beside one of these mercenaries. My legs, the muscles quiver, not with fear, no, but with the desire to feel themselves moving, straining, acting, while yet there is time. I'm not afraid, but this body, I hate the thought of its being killed by these men. My beautiful body, soon it will be dead, cold, rotting, dead. It will rot. No, they must not do this to me.
You must be brave, my son.
My body. Years I spent with the great corporeal master, the yogi, learning my bodily purpose, my bodily care. the use of willpower to control my body. The yogi. My teacher, yes. I shall use yoga. Suspend my breathing and become invulnerable to their gas. Suspend my body functions to the point of death and fool their doctor, of course. Oh, yes, the greatest escape of them all, and this time I must succeed.
All right, here we are.
The room is so small. Somehow I had imagined it would be larger. And here is the chair. Yes, strap. Hood.
All right, now just sit down.
And over there, the glass.
Take it easy.
Small pane with the dark faces seen dimly through. The witnesses.
Lay your arms along these.
The whole room is like some strange sort of time machine. Machine for launching a man into another dimension. So true.
Yeah.
I best begin to prepare myself.
Relax.
Relax. Must relax. It won't be easy.
Have you any last words, my son?
Yes, one request. Do not allow my poor body to be dissected or embalmed, but on the third day after my death, cremate it.
That will be arranged as you desire.
Thank you.
God be with you, my son. Remember what Christ said to the two criminals. In this day shalt thou be with me in heaven.
Now move your head forward a little. All right, put the hood down. There. Now, when you hear the pellets drop into the acid, don't try any tricks. Just breathe deeply, see? Fumes don't hurt, see? And just cooperate with us. Make it easy on yourself, pal. You know what I mean?
Dark here under the hood. Now, the last breath, as the yogi taught me. And the lungs hold it. Body limp, all muscles, tendons, joints. Relax, all slow the bloodstream, lock the breath. Hold. Hold. Slow. Slow. Hold. Suspend all bodily functions. Hold. Fix the eye in. Suspended animation. Gently fix the mind on time. Ease the beating of my heart. Time as a picture on the screen of my mind. Slower. Slower. My perception is slower. The time seems to spin by now. Go slow. My heart. The ventilators go on, clearing the air of the poisonous fumes. Now the doctor will come with his stethoscope. I will my limbs to stiffness, my flesh to coldness.
All right, it's clear, Doctor. You can go on in. Well, let's see now. Respiration ceased. Heart stopped. By the authority vested in me by the state of California, I pronounce this man dead.
I will myself to consciousness in 6 hours' time. Where am I? Dark here and cold, so cold. I must get up and see. Oh, the prison morgue. It worked. But I'm cold, so cold. What's this on my toe? A tag. Too dark to read it, but I know what it says. It has my name, prison number, time of execution, yes. And now to look around. Because the next step must be played just right. And this should be it. A coffin crate ready for shipping. Some cadaver being returned to a sentimental family. Well, just right. With him on my slab, my tag on his toe, and the most perfect escape of all time underway, here we go. I will my body to return from its state of suspended animation and to come immediately out of trance when next this coffin shall be opened. Hello, old man. Funeral parlor. Poor fellow. Must have a bad heart. Let's see. No, it's going. Well, let's hope he's out for a while. This must be the workroom. Light hanging over the work table, and there, a locker. With a suit. Fine. And here in the desk, might there not be some sort of... Yes, here. A petty cash box. It's quite full. The old boy apparently doesn't believe in banks. And now that Lazarus has returned from the dead, this newspaper, Dateline, I was executed 4 days ago. Now I find myself resurrected in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Los Angeles, California. This is Los Angeles. You can claim your baggage in the station or on the platform.
I returned to my home. Beautiful time to return home. My old hammock is there, and my flowers, my yard. The house is empty. The lawyer said he'd had it cleaned up. Oh, my books, my pictures. Here's my old pipe. I haven't smoked it in years. Mary didn't like it. But now she's gone. I don't hate her anymore. Tobacco's still fairly fresh. So the pipe. There's that detective story I never got to finish. Now I'll have time. Now I'll have lots of time. Time to smoke and read and write and rest. The sun's almost down. Twilight. Wonderful time to get outside. Cool, sweet air. Wonder what kind of birds those are. My hammock. Oh, it's so nice. Light the pipe. And relax. Wish I could remember what page I was on, but no matter. I can begin again. I've got all the time in the world. The rest of my life. Birds. And the sun is slipping out of sight. Death of the sun. How red the sky. How soft those clouds. So lovely, so lovely. What's that? Birds playing in the fish pond. Look at them. Happy birds. That's hissing. The neighbor is turning on his lawn sprinkling system. Lie here and smell the cool air. Evening coming on. Sky grows darker. Lie in the gathering twilight. Death of the day, breath of the night. Sweet softness of the summer night coming. Soon the stars. Oh, it's lovely, heavenly, just like heaven. Lie and swing, rock and rock, to and fro. Heavenly,
By the authority vested in me by the state of California, I pronounce this man dead.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Tonight we have presented Present Tense by James Poe, starring Vincent Price as Roger. Featured in the cast were Charles McGraw as Fred Sneed, Joan Banks as Mary, Harry Bartell as the Doctor, and Ben Wright as Pollen. Also heard were Tom Tully, William Lally, Jeff Corey, and Paul Frees. Special music was arranged and conducted by Del Castillo. Next week.
You are alone at the controls of an experimental rocket aircraft, about to be hurled 40 miles out from the Earth's surface into the limitless boundaries of space, into a nothingness from which there may be no escape.
Next week, we escape with Graham Doerr's imaginative and widely discussed story of a rocket pilot who receives the strangest and most terrible warning in the history of man, the outer limit. Goodbye, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. When Bob Hope visits Bing Crosby on Bing's CBS show tomorrow night, they'll be singing a duet called Have I Told You Lately? That's a good theme for Bing and Bob, for you know and I know that when the two lads get together, the gags about each other's shortcomings fly thick and fast. Tomorrow night, with National Sauerkraut Week as the springboard, Bing and Bob promise one of their most hilarious meetings. So don't miss the CBS Bing Crosby show, which is heard on most of these same stations. Now stay tuned for Pursuit, which follows immediately on most of these same CBS stations. This is CBS, where Wednesday night is Bing Crosby night, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Nestle's Ever Ready, the instant cocoa. Nestle's Quick for great chocolate milk. And Nestle's chocolate bars now present Space Patrol. High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol. In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are aboard the Terra 5 approaching the planet Venus.
We're on vector for the Venus City atmosphere shell, sir.
Fine, Hap. Cut our velocity.
Yes, sir. Hey, that's strange. The controls won't respond.
There's the warning from Space Control. Decelerate quick.
I can't, sir. Nothing happens.
Well, try changing vector.
The controls are frozen.
Someone sabotaged the ship.
What? Smoking rockets, if we don't do something quick, the ship will crash right into the heart of Venus City.
We'll return in just a moment with the thrilling Space Patrol story, The Shadow of Chardu. What's new?
Nestle's new.
Nestle's what?
Coconut.
Ah, Nestle's new coconut bar. That's for me. You have to eat one to believe that there could be such a wonderful flavor combination. Just imagine. Thick, rich, smooth milk chocolate, crammed to the edges with fresh, toasted coconut. And it's such fun to eat, too, because it gets crisper with every bite. Care to add anything to that, Hap? Hap. Cadet Happy, will you please answer?
Oh, golly, Commander, I'm sorry. You know what happens to me when you start talking about Nestle's new coconut bar? I just close my eyes and leave this planet. Yes, sir, I imagine I'm eating one right then and there. I can just taste that sensational, creamy, rich chocolate and all that super coconut. It's so crisp, so delicious, so... There I go again. That's the way it is, Commander, and there's only one cure for it.
Oh, what might that be?
Why, I gotta eat a Nestle's coconut bar, of course.
Well, now, that seems like a good idea. For you, for me, for all space patrollers, too. Gang, why don't you find out for yourself? Treat yourself to a brand new coconut bar. You'll really go for it.
Everybody goes for Nestle's, Commander. Wonderful milk chocolate, almond chocolate, and crunchy crunch bars. And naturally, the new coconut bar in the red and cream-colored wrapper. Smoking rockets, Nestle certainly makes the very best chocolate.
And now, our Space Patrol adventure, The Shadow of Chardu. Commander Corey has discovered that agents from the planet Dargida near the star Antares are secretly at work in the solar system searching for a jeweled crown. Of the two known agents from Dargida, one has been captured. The other, Orkan, escaped from Earth. Buzz fears Orkan will try to locate the one man in the United Planets who may know the whereabouts of the crown, the archaeologist Howard Sterndorf. So far, the commander has been unable to contact the scientist to warn him of the danger he faces at the hands of the ruthless intruders from Dargida. Right now, Buzz and Happy are in the commander's office at Terra headquarters.
Well, there's one thing in our favor. If we can't find Sterndorf, then neither can Orkan.
You forget, Happy. We don't know how big an organization Dargida may have in our solar system. The would-be emperor, Chardu, may have agents everywhere.
We sure didn't find out much from the one we captured, this Torzak. Not even with a brain gun.
These men from Dargida have tremendous control over the minds. This mental power, sight forces, they call it, enables them to perform incredible feats of strength.
Yeah, we sure found that out the hard way. What I can't understand, sir, is why a super smart race of people would put so much value in a crown. Why couldn't Chardu be emperor without it?
I don't know enough about Dargida to answer that.
I don't see how we're going to protect Sterndorf, even if we do find him before Orkan does. Unless we keep Sterndorf a prisoner for his own protection.
There's just one way to protect Sterndorf from the agents of Dargida. That's to make him useless to Chardu and his spies.
And how can we do that? If Sterndorf knows where the crown is, he can...
Excuse me. Commander Corey here. Yes, Captain. Fine. Lowell City? Good. He doesn't know why I want to see him. Well, don't tell him. Just keep him there. It won't be long. I'll blast off immediately. Corey out. Hap, Howard Sterndorf is on Mars. Captain Walden in our Lowell City headquarters got a bright hunch and checked with the curator of the Lowell City Museum.
That's a break. Now we can get to him before Orkan does.
Let's get to the spaceport.
Meantime, in the spaceship traveling between Earth and the planet Venus, Orkan, agent from the planet Dargida, contacts his leader, Chardu, near the star Antares, 170 light years from the solar system.
I should reach Venus in about 2 hours, Chardu.
And that's just where the crown is?
I cannot be sure. I do know that the scientist who found the crown in the Janapi ruins lives in Venus City. It shouldn't be difficult to locate him. Once I find Howard Sterndorf, I will force him to tell me where to find the crown of Dargida.
I am somewhat concerned, Orkan. Have you contacted Agent Torzak recently?
No, Chardu. I saw no necessity for it.
I have tried repeatedly to reach him. He does not answer. His last report is long overdue.
When did you last hear from Torzak?
Shortly after you left the desert region. He told me he had this Commander Corey and the Cadet Happy under control.
That is true, Chardu. When I left, Corey and the Cadet were still dazed from the weakening effect of my psych force.
Suppose they succeeded in overpowering Torzak.
That's impossible.
Then why hasn't Torzak reported? Until I learn differently, I must operate on the theory that they did escape. We must change our plans immediately.
But Chardu...
We must run no unnecessary risks. Corey has escaped from Torzak, and he will attempt to warn the scientist, Sterndorf. He will also alert the Venus authorities to watch for you.
Should I return to Torzak's place in the Earth's desert?
No. Contact Roder, one of our agents on Terra. He can determine whether Corey is back in action.
And if he is?
Corey is the greatest obstacle to the recovery of the crown of Dargida. He must be destroyed.
In a hotel room in Lowell City on the planet Mars, Buzz and Happy confer with the elusive scientist Howard Sterndorf.
Let me ask you a question. Didn't you explore the Janapi ruins on Earth?
Yes, last year. But it wasn't a very complete exploration. I was called back to Venus to take over some classes at the university.
Did you find a jeweled crown in the ruins?
Why, yes, I did. Very strange, too. It just didn't belong among those Indian artifacts.
You're right, it didn't.
We know where that crown came from.
You do?
Where? From a planet near the star Antares. It was stolen 1,000 years ago, brought to Earth, and hidden in those ruins.
That's why you're in danger.
Just a minute. If this is one of those tiresome legends about an ancient curse, you can forget it.
This is serious, Professor. Where is that crown?
Back at the Venus City University.
Locked in a vault, I suppose.
My goodness, no. It's on the shelf in my office.
In plain sight?
Of course.
The restoration of an empire hinges on that crown. Agents from Dargida are in the solar system right now, and they'll do anything to get it back.
Well, why not give it to them?
If it's there, we can't be sure it's all they want. We'll never know who their agents are unless they reveal themselves by making attempts to get that crown.
All right. Interstellar politics is out of my line. I'll give you the crown and you can lock it out.
That won't work with these spies.
No, Professor. No secret is safe from them. They've got something they call a psych force.
They can produce a mental energy that can overpower our own self-control. I know. One of them made me tell them your name.
And they can concentrate that power in physical energy. When they want to, they're as strong as 10 men.
Now, here's our problem. Either you or I must know where the crown is. Yet we must be able to produce it on short notice in case we have to.
Well, that's quite a dilemma. How would it work if I gave it to a friend and asked him to hide it?
Oh, a Darjeta agent could easily make you tell the name of it.
Then your friend would be on the spot.
What we need is a way of not letting our left hand know what our right hand is doing.
Exactly. Now, here's my suggestion. Each of us will make a list of 20 men we can trust. That's 40. Then envelopes will be prepared and addressed to each of these 40 men. There will be no return address on any envelope. 39 of them will contain blank pieces of paper, or perhaps a circular, anything, it doesn't matter.
And the 40th envelope?
That will contain a letter over my signature, asking that person to go immediately to your office, get the crown, and hide it, without telling anyone. The person receiving the instructions will be asked to send a letter to the secret documents section at Space Patrol headquarters in town.
Gee.
Now, on the outside of the envelope will be a file number. Inside will be the man's name, nothing else. That envelope will be filed without being opened.
Then can I go to Venus?
Not until I get word from the secret documents section that a letter with a certain file number has arrived from Venus City. That'll be proof that our plan worked and the crown is safely hidden.
Nearly 2 days later, in a hotel on Terra, Professor Sterndorf impatiently awaits word from Commander Corey that he can return to his work at the Venus City University. As the hours drag on, he nervously paces the floor, muttering to himself.
Commander Corey overestimates these Darjeta people. Wasting all this time when I could be... that's the commander. And high time, too. Well, I was wondering... Oh, hello.
Professor Sterndorf?
Yes. What can I do for you?
I'd like to come in, if you don't mind.
Well, I'm rather busy.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh, just a minute, young man.
It shouldn't take very long. You're certainly a hard man to find. I heard you were in Lowell City, but by the time I got there, you'd left for Terra. However, what's the matter, Professor?
I don't know. Suddenly, I felt a trifle dizzy.
Think nothing of it. I usually have that effect on people.
Who are you? What do you want?
It doesn't matter who I am. You took a jeweled crown from the Zanapi ruins on the planet Earth. Where is it?
You're a Darjeta agent.
Where is the crown?
I don't know.
Don't lie to me. Eventually, you're going to have to tell the truth. You'll save yourself much mental torture if you stop fighting your impulse to answer. Where is it?
I am telling you the truth. I don't know where the crown is.
Does Corey have it?
No.
Who did you give it to?
I don't know.
Then you did give it to someone, didn't you?
I don't know.
You must be telling the truth, but your answers don't make any sense. Corey sent someone to get it.
Yeah.
Getting someone. Who did he send?
I don't know.
Are you expecting someone?
Yes. Commander Corey. That's probably who that is.
What's he coming here for?
Well, most likely to take me to Venus.
To get the crown?
No. Neither of us knows where the crown is.
I'm stepping into the next room. Answer the door, but get rid of Corey. Tell him you don't need an escort to Venus. Do as I say. Wait till he arrives. Good afternoon, Professor.
Hi, Professor Sterndorf.
Good afternoon.
Everything has worked out fine, Professor. We'll take you to Venus as soon as you're ready.
I'm not ready to return yet. I have found a few matters of interest here on Terra. When I attend to them, I can return to Venus by myself. I do not need an official escort. Good day, gentlemen.
The Professor...
Happy the Professor knows his own mind. Very well, Professor. Thanks for your cooperation. Come on.
Yes, sir. Goodbye, Professor.
Goodbye.
What's come over, Professor? Did his attitude seem kind of strange to you?
Yes, he seemed to be acting under pressure. There's someone in the room that took him by surprise.
Darjeta agents.
Probably. Put them off guard before they have a chance to generate super strength for the psych force.
Then we're going back?
Yes, sir. Professor, where is he?
Right here, Corey. Come on, it's Orton. You shouldn't have done that.
It's their fault I had to knock them out. They stormed in here ready for trouble. It would have been difficult to overpower them with mind energy. All right, Professor. Bring me a sheet on the bed.
What are you going to do?
Tie them up. I'll have Boder come here and revive them. You're coming with me to Venus.
By the commander and Cadet Happy. Who is Boder?
Another Dargita agent. And if they don't tell us where the crown is, Boder will show them that the psych force can be more torture than a severe beating.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. Say, gang, how's your morning tempo? Do you go around like this? Or are you the kind who speeds through school and chores like this? Well, I bet you the difference is breakfast. Yes, sirree, a good big breakfast topped off by a good big cup of Nestle's Ever-Ready Cocoa can make all the difference in the universe. Breakfast eaters are never slow starters nor mid-morning slumpers either, because they get the pep and go they need to last clear through. And let me tell you, when you have Nestle's Cocoa with your breakfast, you're treating yourself fine. The flavor's so rich and chocolatey and delicious, just like those sensational Nestle's chocolate bars. Another thing, Nestle's is the only instant cocoa that contains rich whole milk and sugar. That's where the pep comes from. And, of course, Nestle's is so easy to fix, you can do it yourself in no time. Just put 1, 2, 3 spoonfuls in your cup and add hot water. Easy? Why, you never saw anything simpler. Good? Well, you just take a big swallow, and you'll say it's the greatest. And, boy, wait and see how you speed through the morning just like this. Remember, ask Mom for Nestle's Ever-Ready in the bright red box. It's chocolate rich and wonderful. It's Nestle's. And now, back to our Space Patrol adventure, The Shadow of Chardu. Commander Corey knows that agents from Dargita with their specially trained brains can generate a psych force strong enough to make any ordinary person reveal any fact that he knows. Buzz, therefore, worked out a plan so the crown of Dargita can be hidden by an unknown third party. Thus, neither Buzz nor Professor Sterndorf have any direct knowledge of where the crown is or who has it. But Agent Orkan captured the professor and knocked Buzz and Happy unconscious. The two space patrolmen come to their senses in the professor's hotel room on Terra to find themselves securely bound by strips of sheet torn from the bed.
I think I'm getting it, Hap. The strands of sheet around my wrists are beginning to give. It's not making any headway with mine. Orkan used too much of his super strength in tying me. He pulled the knot so hard he weakened the fabric. Commander, someone's at the door. I'll step out of sight and keep a vigilant conversation.
Wow. I was beginning to think nobody was ever going to come. Get me loose, will you?
Take it easy. Where's the commander? Orkan said he had both of you tied together.
Right here. Oh, that was a beauty, Commander.
I had to get him quick before he got his psych force into gear.
You sure did. But he's completely out. He can't tell us where Orkan is.
That's why I release you. We'll get him to headquarters. If we can get him under a brainograph before he completely recovers, we might find out plenty.
Far from the regular space lanes, a private cruiser follows a vector toward the planet Venus. Orkan checks the viewscopes carefully, then makes spaceophone contact with Chardu on the remote planet Dargita.
I have captured Professor Sterndorf Chardu. He is locked in the compartment of the ship.
What about Corey?
By now, Boder probably has Corey and the cadet well under control.
Why didn't you take Corey with you when you had the chance?
I was compelled to use physical force, Chardu. It would have taken too much time to wait for them to regain consciousness, so that I could control their actions by psych force, as I did the professor.
I see. What about the crown?
Sterndorf seems to have no knowledge of where it is.
But you told me...
Please, Chardu, please. There is nothing to worry about. Corey and Sterndorf together must have knowledge of the crown. I can work on Sterndorf while Voder handles Corey.
And with Sterndorf under your control, you can force Corey to be more cooperative.
Exactly. You will have to give me the crown to save the professor's life.
Where are you going now?
To Venus. In all probability, the crown is somewhere on that planet. I can operate from Venus City location number 3.
You must find the crown without delay or cut. Proceed to Venus.
Several million VUs away, the Terra 5 also follows a vector toward the planet Venus.
We got more information on the Voder than I expected, Commander.
Well, at least we know where Orkan is taking Professor Sterndorf.
Orkan must realize by now that Sterndorf hasn't the slightest idea where the crown is, or who has it.
Yes, the professor's in a tough spot. Orkan will probably keep him as a hostage to force us to hand over the crown.
Yeah, but we don't know where it is either, unless we trace that letter through the secret documents section and find out the name inside.
They have to do that to save Sterndorf from torture.
With Professor Sterndorf completely dominated by the psych force, Orkan brings his spaceship through the space lock of the Venus City atmosphere shell. Then, by an indirect route in a surface car, he brings his captive to a thick-walled building in the manufacturing section of the city.
Now, Sterndorf, as you can see, we aren't likely to be disturbed here. The wisest thing you can do is to tell me how to find the crown of Darjida.
I've told you before. I don't know.
I've been very gentle with you up to now, Professor. You have a fine mind by solar system standards. It would be a pity to damage it permanently. So stop resisting me.
I tell you, I'm not...
Come, if you don't care about yourself, think of Corey and the cadet. You can save them from a very horrible fate by telling me what steps Corey took to conceal the crown. Very well. You leave me no other choice. Chardu's signal. Perhaps Corey is already cracked. I knew it wouldn't take Voder long to get the information. Agent Orkan here, Chardu.
Orkan, Corey has escaped from Voder.
What? That's impossible.
I received a report from another Terra agent. Corey and the cadet blasted off from Terra on a Venus orbit.
What about Voder?
He has not reported. Very likely Corey has him locked up at headquarters. There's no telling how much information Corey got from him with their brainogram.
I still have Sterndorf. Corey won't dare do anything to endanger the professor.
Don't tell me what Corey will do. You keep telling me that the people of the solar system are weak, that they're powerless against our psych force. So Corey has captured 2 of our agents, Korsak and Voder. You are probably next.
No, he'll never take me.
He won't if you obey my instructions. He must never reach Venus.
How can I stop him?
The thought radiation unit on your spaceport. You know the standard space patrol frequency?
But Chardu projecting the psych force by spaceophone, it's a tremendous strain on my mind. It's painful, exhausting.
But you have exercised partial control over Corey before. Receptivity has already been established.
I know, but I can't be sure I can project a command over such a distance. Even when it's amplified by the thought radiation unit, it could be distorted, diffused.
Do not project a complex command. A simple, strong, non-action impulse is all you need.
Non-action impulse?
Yes. Soon Corey will approach the Venus City atmosphere shell. To enter the space lock, he and the cadets will have to perform certain specific actions. Your psych force will inhibit these actions.
Yes, it might work at that.
It has to work. From what you've told me before, the protective systems of these atmosphere shells, well, we will be rid of Corey for good. Hurry. Put on the thought protection unit and start transmitting.
We're on vector for the Venus City atmosphere shell, sir.
Fine, Hap. You bring it through the locks. Better cut our velocity.
Yes, sir. That's strange. The controls won't respond.
Try it again. There's the automatic warning from space control. Our approach is too fast. Accelerate, quick.
I can't, sir. The nose rockets won't fire.
Cut our tail rockets.
Nothing happens. We're still accelerating.
Then change vector. Do it quick or we'll crash into the planet.
Yes, sir. The controls are frozen. I can't fire starboard or port rockets.
Cut on automatic landing control. The emergency circuits may take hold.
Yes, sir. Well, that doesn't work either. Smoking rockets, we're going to crash right into the heart of Venus City.
Listen to that automatic warning. The electronic protective system in Venus City is getting ready to launch a guided missile at us. We'll be blown up before we hit the shell.
Those speeds are speeding up.
When they merge into one note, we'll have reached the critical point. Try the forward rockets again. Press the control.
I did, sir.
You put your finger on it, but you didn't press it. Here, let me try it. There's nothing wrong with the controls. It's us. But the psych force. Something's controlling our actions.
It doesn't feel that way, sir.
We can do anything but decelerate the ship. Orcon must be using his psych force by remote control. The spacerphone, I'll cut it off.
Now we can't hear the warning.
Try the controls quickly. Fire port.
It worked. It worked. We're changing vectors.
Let's hope we swerve quick enough. Full repeller ray.
We're zooming in awfully close to the ground.
Wow. That was close. We'll make another approach to the city, huh? This time an automatic landing control.
Orcon must have been transmitting a psych force by spacerphone.
Yes. Otherwise, we'd have been blown to bits by now.
Well, I guess it's better to destroy a ship than to crash into a city. I could have sworn I was pressing those controls.
The psych force is a powerful weapon. We've got to round up every Darjita agent in the solar system. And we'll start with Orcon.
In his Venus City hideout, Orcon slumps in front of the spaceophone, completely exhausted. Still, he keeps a wary eye on his captive, Professor Sterndorf.
I would have to go through that again. Feels as though I've been physically beaten.
You have killed Commander Corey.
Yes, Professor. By now, the commander's ship has reached the electronic defense barrier over the atmosphere shell. And he's been blown to atoms. Let that be a lesson to anyone who opposes Darjita.
By destroying Corey, you ruined your only chance to get the crown.
If that is true, then you are no longer of any use to me. Yes. You are now in the way.
What are you going to do? Take your hands off me.
It won't do you any good to struggle, Professor. In a moment, it will all be over.
Let go of him, Orcon. Corey! I'll take care of him. Have you help the professor. Commander, he's going for his ray gun.
No, he isn't. Keep him company.
Yes, sir.
Are you all right, Professor?
Yes, Commander. But if you'd been a moment later...
You'll get Orcon to a brainograph before he builds up his mental resistance. He can probably tell us who some of the other Darjita agents are. He won't get anything out of me. Chardu of Darjita will see that I am liberated. Come on, Orcon. Let's go. There is Chardu calling me now. Forget it. Very well. When I don't answer, he'll know I'm in trouble and send other agents to help.
He is right, Commander.
That gives me an idea. All right, Orcon. Talk to your boss. Go ahead. Say anything you like. Do you mean that? Answer it. You've got some trick in mind. You think you'll learn something about the Darjita master plan. All right, don't answer it, but make up your mind. Very well. But you won't learn anything. Agent Orcon, here, Chardu.
I'm surprised that you answered, Orcon.
Chardu, listen. Be careful what you say.
Silence, Orcon. I have just heard of the failure of your plan to destroy Corey's spaceship.
That's what I wanted to explain.
Silence. Do not interrupt. Repeated bunting means only one thing. You are a traitor. You are working with my enemies.
That's not true. I'm loyal to you, Chardu.
Protect me from such loyalty. Henceforth, you will be regarded as a traitor of Darjita. I have ordered certain agents in the solar system to give you the treatment we reserve for traitors. Goodbye, Orcon.
Chardu, listen to me, please. That's the way he repays me for my faithful work. Commander, you've got to protect me. You don't have any idea how vicious Chardu can be.
Well, don't we? You've given us some pretty good demonstrations.
Come on, Orcon. We'll see that nothing happens to you for a long time to come.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment.
Say, Commander, take a look at these drawings for the new type spacesuits. See here? Energy restoration units built right in. Pretty cosmic, huh?
I've got a better energy restorer and builder right here. What's more, it tastes good.
You couldn't be talking about anything but good old Nestle's Ever-Ready Cocoa, I'll bet.
Half you go to the head of the clan. Nestle's Cocoa is the hot drink all space patrollers need to make them peppy and keep them peppy. So delicious, too. Just packed with the rich, true chocolate flavor of Nestle's chocolate bar. And that's the best chocolate there is.
Nestle's is so easy to make, too. Just 1, 2, 3 spoonfuls in the cup. Add hot water, and it's ready. Smoking rockets, let's not stand here talking about it. Let's have some.
Roger. Let's everybody have a big, delicious cup of Nestle's Ever-Ready Cocoa. And Nestle's is the one with the real chocolate flavor. That's Nestle's in the bright red can.
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are on the planet Darjida, pursued by a band of Chardu's agents.
They're gaining on us, sir. We're nearly at the top of the ridge. Then it'll be downhill to the ship. It's lucky for us they don't have any weapons. Chardu probably gave them orders to take us alive. From what we know of him, that isn't going to be any picnic. If we can keep this lead, we'll be safe. Wow, they have got weapons. It's the top of the ridge. Now a final spurt to the ship and... Smoke and Knockers, Commander, look. Our ship is gone.
Be with us next week for the thrilling Space Patrol story, Planet of Discord. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Helen Moser. Other players were Norman Jolly, Ken Mayer, and Bela Kovach. Dick Tufeld speaking. This week's Space Patrol was brought to you by Nestle's Eveready, the instant cocoa, Nestle's Quick for great chocolate milk, and famous Nestle's chocolate bars. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood.
This is ABC Radio Network.